8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Arena Esports, powered by Etisalat, and of course, our strategic partner, 80 Gaming, as well as broadcast partner, plethora. Welcome back to our monthly finals, and this is going to be the last one. Still with me, Burger Kim, and of course, Nightera, joining you for the action here in today's MLBB.
Right, it's such an amazing opportunity to be here for what seems to be like the final one, like you mentioned, and I'm gonna be excited for this, like how it goes down today. What do you got for us, Kim?
You know what? I missed out on last month's monthly qualifiers because I'm down with COVID, but I'm back. I'm all right right now. So I think what I missed out is probably like how the games went, and I think there's a big shift of meta right now because they shifted back into I think fighters. A couple of heroes have been popping up as well in both ranked games and even in the professional scenes. Just to name a few, like Lunox, Balmond have been doing really well. So I'm expecting to
Exceedingly
see that
well.
here today. Yes, really, really well. I mean, you've been playing RGs, you know what to ban, and those heroes are on top. So today, I think we're gonna be seeing Team Falcon coming up against Ultra Legends. So if you guys are familiar with the Middle East or North American scene, Team Falcons is a big thing, a big team who's playing for currently for MPL MENA, and I
Right.
think everybody knows how well they've done. Even in the M5 wild card, they actually qualified there. So it's nice to see that that kind of level of team is now playing here in Arena Esports. And of course, Ultra Legends as well is another one of the seasoned teams here in Arena Esports. So for me, I'm looking forward to see what more they can bring since this is going to be the last monthly finals that we're going to be having for MLBB.
Yeah, and I think it's especially great that you're here for the final one. You did miss that last one for last month, but hey, you know what? All's good. You're gonna close us off with a bang here, and that's what we're here to bring you today. Good games, good cast, and of course, someone to crown home the champion.
Mhm. Yeah, I think all of these teams that you guys have witnessed all the way back, I think just to give you guys a recap, monthly finals. The first week we got GK and Team Avalon, and then for week number 2 we got Arcanti Esports and Team Axe. For week number 3 you got Okami and Friends. As well as Team Shuki, and now we're gonna be having Falcons and Ultra Legends, and all these teams will be moving forward, of course, to the playoffs. All of them are already qualified, but of course, everybody wants that spot for the grand finals. That is gonna be a LAN event, by the way. So stay tuned for more information over at Arena Esports. If you guys want to be a part of it, if you guys are in the area, go ahead and check out the information as well. And if you guys want to join in our tournaments, or you guys want to have some more information about Arena Esports, go ahead and check out the Arena Esports website.
But without further ado, I mean, like Team Falcons, Ultra Legends, they've got something to prove onto the table. So while we wait for them to get up, what are your predictions, Kim? I've got something in mind. I'm feeling a little bit excited to say this, but I think Ultra Legends is going to be a 3-1 on this one. That is my take.
Ultra Legends over Team
Yes.
Falcon. Do you
Yes.
have a reason for that?
Now, okay, look. People might say I'm hard coping here, as we would call it, but I feel like Ultra Legends have a little bit more in terms of an idea of what they want to go into against Falcons.
Mhm.
Falcons are very flexible in what they do, so they might be able to mold into Ultra Legends. But I feel like consistency is key here. Like, if you get a gameplay strategy down, work with it. It's a lot easier to maneuver around things that people try to play around, right? If Falcons keep trying to mix it up to try and like catch them off guard, it might not play on their favor.
Yeah, I think you know what? I have to make it a little bit different this time. I'm gonna go for Team Falcons because they're a bit more seasoned. They did qualify for the M5 wildcard, so that is definitely not an easy feat. But you know what? Everybody is fighting for, of course, total prize pool of $1,200. Of course, 950 in cash and $250 worth of Arena Esports points. That is gonna go to the top one up until the fourth place right here. So yeah, this is our roadmap. So you guys have been with us ever since. So thank you so much to everyone who has been tuning in, has been supporting Arena Esports on behalf of all of the casters who have casted for MLBB. This is it. This is the final one here, but not the final one that we're gonna be having for the culmination event. You're still gonna be having the playoffs and the grand finals. So this is it, the last monthly finals, and of course the teams will be heading to the playoffs that will be happening in a few weeks' time, and then eventually we're gonna be heading to the grand finals. And if I'm not mistaken, this is gonna land event that will be happening in February.
In February, right? In Dubai as well. So like,
Mhm.
I'm excited to see if you're gonna be there to, show us all the ins and outs of the games. I mean, I cannot think of a place where you are not more deserving than there to go,
Is it because I was here since the
Because you
beginning,
are here
or
since there, you have to be there. Like it's like sending your child off. You finally watch the culmination of everything together, and if you're not there, like who deserves that spot? It has to be
yeah,
you.
yeah, you were here halfway, so I think you also deserve the spot to be there. So hopefully to see you in Dubai. And if you guys are, in Dubai, go ahead and check out Arena Esports once again. I think we're gonna be not only are we gonna be having a LAN event, you guys can get to see the players, you get to see some of the personalities and even the casters that will be there in the event. So fingers crossed, hope to see you
Fingers
guys there
crossed.
in Dubai. It's gonna be happening in a month's time. So I think what makes it really exciting is a LAN event is completely different from an online event. This is great, but you're having a LAN event. It's just miles apart from having an online event. The
It is.
feels, the screams of the audience, seeing the players face to face, it's just altogether a different ball game.
I definitely will say one thing: the electric in the air when you're in that field, the arena, and you get to see the players walk up. I think that's when things are about to go down. Like they
Yeah,
got
or you get to high
the
five the
walk.
players.
Yeah, that's always like the best part about it. We get to see like how the players interact in real life as well. It's not just in the game; it becomes an entirely different like feel to it when you start casting it. And that's what we hope to do, we hope
Hmm.
will happen for the Dubai's like LAN event. But until then, I mean, we still gotta see where this one goes down. We want to lock in our teams and see where we're going in for the February LAN event. But before that, we also still have the semifinals and finals after this playoff.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 days, and if I'm not mistaken, that's gonna be like the almost
23rd,
the
24th.
end of January. Yeah,
Yeah.
23rd and 24th of January. So 2 whole days of playoffs, 2 whole days of MLBB action. So if um you guys are fans, or if you guys are friends of these teams, the ones that I mentioned earlier who have qualified for the monthly finals, then definitely you would want to witness of course the playoffs and whoever will be moving forward either to the grand finals LAN event. So I think it's also a great way to wrap everything up here. I can't believe this has been going off ever since like last year, right? Like it's already 2024,
It
and yeah,
is.
almost like halfway 4 months. How long have we been doing this? I'll double check later, but I've been doing this for quite some time. I remember it was back in, I think it was October or something. So it's been a while, like almost like 4 months of doing Arena Esports, and I think I am so happy that I only missed out at least like
Two or
two or
three.
three casts. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it.
I mean, that's definitely it's a testament. I mean, I've been here for like I want to say one, but I think I might have done one more at some point. Not
Yeah,
this
I think
season.
you've done probably like two or three. Yeah, two or three.
Yeah, two or three. But
You're
I
the
mean,
stats guy
overall,
here.
am I the stats guy? Am I?
Yes, you
Is it?
are. I
It's the
remember
specs. It's
that.
the specs, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, it's the specs. It's you being Asian as well. I know that, but I'm not.
That's a little bit. All right. Enough jokes around. I would love definitely to see Falcons and Ultra Legends go head to head right now. I do believe we are going into their draft in just a bit, but
Mhm.
just a reminder, Kim, they are fighting for a fantastic prize pool of $8,200. $950 would be in cash as well.
Yeah, and the rest of the amount is gonna be in Arena Esports credit. So yeah, check that out. Check out Arena Esports' website. Of course, once again, thank you so much to Etisalat, our broadcast partner Playtonia, our strategic partner as well, AD Gaming. So yeah, it's gonna be a best out of five. So this is no strange. This format is not something new for everyone who's been following Arena Esports. This is what happens every month. So for the monthly finals, it's no longer a best out of three, best out of five. So I think this is just stretching it out for all of the best teams who have made it this far. And for best out of five, there's so many things that can happen. I mean, I've seen a best out of five where it was a reverse sweep, and honestly, that was really upsetting, especially for the teams who have at least gotten a lead as compared to the teams who have gotten in that reverse sweep. So hopefully for today, I think for Falcons, I think it's very evident, even for the teams, the people who are currently following the meta right now. Team Falcons is looking really strong, but we can't count out Ultra Legends as well. Like what you mentioned, definitely if they have something to prove here, then this is the time to showcase it.
Right. I mean, obviously, if they have something to prove, this is the best time of any, right? Like you're gonna go in from playoffs into the semifinals and set yourself apart from everyone. if it's not now, you're never gonna get that chance to go into that top eight again. And this is exactly why I think we've got something to look forward to, especially since we also have a extended game here, not your usual best of three, but best of five.
Best out of five, we're in. I think all of these teams have the chance to either, at least get a feel of your opponent, right? Get a feel of your opponent if you don't really have that much information. I think that's the best thing Ultra Legends can, sorry, Team Falcons can do about Ultra Legends, right? If they don't really have
Right.
that much VODs, or say I'm obviously it's going to be the case here, like Team Falcons will definitely have a lot more games that has been broadcasted both in the M5 World Championships, even in the professional scene. They have a lot more VODs for Ultra Legends to review, but on the other hand, Ultra Legends, let's say they don't really have that much information about them. Well, I guess the best out of five is a great way to work around the team to get a feel of what they're comfortable with, what they're not, or say they're meta abusers, then you can definitely, take a couple of meta heroes in your hands. I think that's also another thing that these teams have to consider.
Yeah, but speaking of meta heroes, I mean, like, what are we expecting here?
Yeah, I'm,
What-
I'm taking a look at the MLBB website. As far as I know, I've been playing a lot of ranked games. Balmond, that's one. Lunox, that is probably rose up to like at least top five most banned hero overall in all servers.
Right.
Alice, I think we still can't. People still can't go wrong with Nolan. I'm not so sure if the new hero will be used here. I mean, have you seen the new hero?
I've not actually. I've looked at it here and there. I'm still trying to figure out like what his strengths are. So that's gonna be a little bit of a gray area for me.
Yeah, CC, that is currently the top banned hero. I'm not so sure how it'll fare. I guess, my opinion of that hero is that she farms really fast. That's it. Sustainability, she gets really annoying, but I don't know if she's going to be available to use here because I think she's been released at least 2 weeks, right? So she should be free to use here in this tournament because usually in major tournaments, you ban out the hero for at least 2 weeks before you're allowed to use it in major tournaments. So I think CC will be a factor. Nolan, Lunox. These are one the heroes that are really difficult to deal with, especially in the early game. So I think that might be the case. Some of the reworked heroes as well. Barrett's, Martis is still a thing in the jungle, so I think it's pretty much the same. I don't know. Some of the players here are actually pretty comfortable with assassins. Say Ling, Lancelot, so that might still be a thing here in the MENA region.
Right. I get what you mean. I would definitely say that Belmont is in my list of heroes to pick up. But I'm also thinking of a few more that might be off on the side here, and I love to pick all these weird ones because I think they've always got a potential in some form, shape and form in the meta. First of all, will be Grook, Nana, and then Fredrickson. Those are my go-to, and I'm hoping to see to play it off just a little bit more, to give a little spice to the games.
Yeah, I think for Fred, he never goes out of the meta. Despite the nerfs that Moonton has given this hero, it's still pretty much viable. Not as it's not as picked as it used to be. Like it's not the top choice anymore, but still viable, I would say. I think for the support meta, it's still up right now. Like Matilda, Angela, these are still like big factors as well when it comes to like the overall team composition. The teams would rather prefer having a support than setter tanks like Atlas. I think speaking of setter tanks, Tigreal has been doing really well as well in
Tigreal
the
is
current meta.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. We haven't seen Tigreal in a long time, to be fair, and it's definitely a refreshing take to see Tigreal back onto the field so that we get something going. But first ban going in, we have.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
there you go.
Support heroes. I think we might actually see like perhaps like a Matilda uh coming through in the ban, especially if you're on the red side. That's the next two bans, so we only have three bans for the first phase. Matilda, I'm guessing perhaps like the red side would choose to ban at least the newer heroes. Yeah, that's one. Joy can get really difficult to deal with, especially if it snowballs. Nolan should also be considered here by the red side. I think blue side can pretty much ban out whatever they want to ban out because they have the first pick here. They can choose to pick like either say they leave the Nolan, they leave the CC, they leave Fredrin, they leave Balmond open. They can pick that up in the first phase.
Right, and especially since they have the opportunity to do that, I mean, it goes without saying that it's much better for them to just ban things that naturally would hurt Belmonts, for example, right? If they get the first pick here, it's gonna be insanely strong going into this composition.
Ooh, now Falcons, they're taking quite some time banning here the next hero. I think they're also considering what the red side will ban here. I think for Ultra Legends, that's also something that they have to consider. Barrett's that I
Barrett's?
did mention that has been reworked, really great sustain. Plus the ultimate Daytona's Welcome is super super good, especially going up against other heroes that are melee. So I think these are the things that Falcon is considering, forcing them to at least ban out the Nolan or the CC here at this
I'm
point.
I'm gonna say I don't think Nolan will be banned though. One is going to be picked up for the bans, but again, I really don't think Nolan is one they're looking out for. It might be actually the last thing on their mind, and I'm not sure if you can
Mm.
see why. I'm just gonna let you figure it out from here, but we're gonna see what we've got banned on the side of Falcons now. Their last ban for
Yeah.
the time being.
Yeah, I think at this point they can. It's a bait here by the red side.
Exactly,
Ban
you
out,
see it.
bait out. Like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna ban that Nolan. It's up to you if you want to ban it out. If you're not gonna ban it out, okay, fine, we'll ban it out for the last slot. But they're just forcing them to at least ban that out or ban out the CC that is also really good in the meta right now. The Lunox also, no one's banning that away. Balmond is still open, so there's a lot of things that the blue side has to consider here for their last ban. So I think they're taking their time here, especially since you don't know what the red team's gonna ban for their last slot. So actually, wow, all of these meta heroes are open, not unless the red side wants to take away at least one. They should at least take away one, like the CC, Balmond, Lunox, Nolan. These are the things that are still open. So I think it's up to them. Matilda is also open, by the way. So it's really up to them on what they can't deal with or what they can't really control. I think the Nolan is still pretty much manageable if you get a Phoveus on your team. But that's just a direct counter. But I'm not so sure what else the red side has up here. So I think there's still a lot to consider since blue side is the one that will have the first pick. So they still did choose to ban away the Nolan. Blue side can start up with either the CC, the Matilda, the Lunox also. That is obviously a very good first pick.
Well, let's see what they do pick up on this side though, because Falcons having the first pick means that they have, a very good chance to pick up every one of those meta heroes. Only
Yeah.
one, right? But Ultra Legends will be at a massive head start, being able to just pick whatever they need to counter supers here, who will be picking first, but also pick themselves up another meta hero to, just play around with.
Yeah, I think this is this is what's hard, right? Let's say you're on the blue side. Yeah, you do have all these meta heroes to pick, but which one do you get? Which one do you actually pick up? Oh wow, okay,
Martis.
none of the above. But you know what? Martis is also a good hero for the early game. I think they're also gearing up for the fact that the side here of Ultra Legends might actually pick up an early game hero as well. I think CC Balmond, these are the things that we have to consider. Lunox as well, that can really rip apart the team when it comes to the late game. Although Lunox, I would say if you make it a jungler or maybe even use it as a mid laner, it does need the time to be able to scale up since it is considered as a late game hero. So Martis, this is a great early game for the blue side.
But here's the thing with Ultra Legends. Like I mentioned, like the score 3-1 in Ultra Legends' favor. I mentioned that they have a consistent strategy, and that strategy usually pans out to be playing a longer game. And I do believe that that might be what they're going for on the side of Ultra Legends. Even if you play a faster composition on towards Falcon, like can you really keep up with the stacks, or can you rush them down fast enough? That is the question that we have here. And picked up, we do see Clint on the side.
Wow, that is a very early pickup on the Clint. I'm not so sure if that's a good choice. Perhaps I think this is a comfort pick from the red side because you don't really pick up the Clint not unless you know who you're going up against, because there's all these other marksmans that are so good in the golden, like S tier. Like Clint, I would probably put it in like B tier or probably B tier. Marksman hero, great for poking, but I wouldn't say it should be a priority pick. There are other heroes that
Ooh.
that can be prioritized, but this is looking really scary for Ultra Legends. This is two heroes that shine in the early game. Not only do they get the Martis, they get the Guinevere. I think Matilda would be. Oh wow, these are all early game heroes. I think for Falcon, they want to definitely end this one early, knowing that there's a Lunox, there's also a Clint that scales up on the other side. So I think for the side of Ultra Legends, they definitely need to get a jungler who's good for the early game. Balmond, Matilda, these are heroes that are good in the early game, so they should at least probably pick up one before it goes to the second phase of the banning phase.
Well, it definitely looks like Falcon has smelled out like what Ultra Legends is trying to play for. And that is the interesting thing though, because remember, if they all push into early game, right? What can they possibly do in the late game? That is the question. They might just get completely walled off at some point, especially now that we've seen our dear old Panda being picked up. This might be an interesting way for them to play it out. Like, how fast do you want to go? Or how fast can you even go?
Ooh, the Akai here for the side of Ultra Legends. I guess this is a good answer for the early game that the side of Team Falcons has thrown out. Now all they need to do is at least take away some scaling heroes for the side of Team Falcons. They still don't have a marksman, and I'm not so sure if this Guinevere will go to the roam role or the XP lane. But usually in the professional scene, they use this Guinevere as a roamer. So yeah, here
Ooh,
it goes.
brutal.
The late game heroes, the scaling heroes, the gold laners are being taken away. I think for the side of Team Falcons, they still need to take away also a roamer. The Matilda is still available for the same Minotaur as well, that has been picked up a couple of times as well in the professional scene. What else are they missing here? An XP laner as well. So they need to have something. They need to take away some of the sustain aspect here for Ultra Legends that will definitely make it more easier for them to shine in the early game.
I mean, the definite pick here is to block out the sustain. You're absolutely right. Because, I mean, look at it this way. If Akai can just stand strong long enough, they don't need to keep engaging fights early on. And in fact, they should be safe enough to play this out long enough for them to start excelling. Ultra Legends is in an interesting position here where it's not like they'll completely lose early game. But right now, as we look at their bans and going into it, there's a very good chance that they might not have the pickups they need to hold them off.
Yeah, I think for the red side, right, they need something as well to make these heroes Lunox and Clint shine in the late game. So I think for both sides, they're already taking away options in the gold lane, especially for Ultra Legends, making sure that the Clint will win that lane. And as for the side of Team Falcons, they're taking away the sustain here, the Terizla, heroes that can make the plays, the sets rather. So Baksha is one, Terizla is one. Akai is already one that has crowd control, so I think they're taking all of those options away. I think Minotaur would also be a great takeaway here for this side. Minotaur,
Right.
tanks that can set Tigreal as well, so that will make their lives so much more harder when it comes to team fights here. So that those are the things that they have to consider out. But I think they will probably most likely ban away either an XP laner or a roamer here for their last slot. Oh wow,
Uranus.
it's both XP laners. So Matilda is still open here. If they want to go for more like either sustain or CC, Minotaur is a great choice. Tigreal is still open here if they want to go for sets after sets. I mean, imagine going up against the heavy spin of the Akai, then going in for the set of the Tigreal. But wow, this is looking really good for the side of Ultra Legends. I like the answers that they have here so far. The Yuzong to take
Ooh.
away the backlines, but you know what? They're hovering over some very interesting heroes here. Fanny was hovered, but I think at this point, the Martis will definitely still stand as the jungler. So Gold Laner and Roamer is what they need here.
I'm gonna be the crazy guy and call this out here, but I think Falcons can pick up a group. I just want to see a group, but I think it'll be amazing.
Woo! Okay,
Would,
wow,
would
this
they
is
lock
so
this in though?
interesting.
Would they lock it in though?
Oh,
Okay, we've
they
got
did.
one.
They just did. They just did. And then the Beatrix, I think this is a comfort pick for them ever since. A signature pick actually for their squad. Even way back, MPL and the qualifiers for M5 World Championship, Beatrix is one of the heroes that they love picking up. And I think we're going to be seeing a standard Beatrix Clint gold lane. I would say that's pretty boring for me, but you know what? It works for the squad. I'm just worried about the composition here of Falcons. They don't really have a hard tank here. Like if you look at their composition, I'm still not sure if it's the Guinevere or the Arlott that will stand as the roamer. It's still pretty confusing for me, but they don't really have a solid tank. All they have are fighters that can do brawls, but they don't have someone to really front for the Beatrix. So I think
Very
that's
early
my
on.
worry. Yeah. They really have an early game composition here, but if it reaches the late game, I think it's gonna be really hard for them to bounce back with the composition that Ultra Legends has. Look at that, three solid tanky frontliners for them. As long as Casper and the Clint can position themselves well, then they can definitely win the team fights in the late game.
They are absolutely stacked coming into this, and I love it. But that's also not to say that Falcons doesn't have a response, right? I mean, we've established Falcons is going for the speed. They want to get this done as fast as possible, get a strong lead before Ultra Legends can stack up and, just completely wall them back. So I'm excited to see how this one will pan out.
Yeah, Clint, Beatrix in the gold lane. Very uncontemporary lineup if you think about it for the side of Falcons, but I think they do have a great amount of CC as well. But there's a Grok here on the other side and a Kai as well to make sure that their damage dealers are alive when it comes to the clash. But the Yuzhong as well will be very vital when it comes to securing in the objectives. Early game, I think if Ultra Legends can pick up turtles, like at least the first two turtles, they should be fine. But for Team Falcons as well, there's that that urgency to make this work out in the early game, because once it reaches the late game, I think they still make it, but it's gonna be extra hard. So now they're doing standard rotations here. Guinevere, Super Z actually starting up the red buff, making it a bit more faster here for the Martis to pick that up. So I think for Falcons, again, you can see the urgency that they have, forcing Arslan to actually use the retribution there. So great early rotations coming out from Falcon, but for Ultra Legend, it's fine. As long as they stretch this out as long as possible, it should favor their team.
It should favor the team, but you know what? Nothing is set in stone yet. I mean, game just started. We need to figure out what they're trying to go for. I mean, we definitely see a very dangerous going in there, just waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, I think
He's
Gani
fishing.
is just not gonna let it.
He's
easy
fishing for it.
Arslan to... Yeah, he's just making sure that you can't farm. You can't farm peacefully here. I'm making sure that you can't farm peacefully. You're gonna have to take notice of me, and yeah, they are gonna go for Gani. Force that flicker out of him early on, so I think that is one resource wasted. But it actually gave so much vision towards the side of Ultra Legends, knowing that okay, Arslan already used the retribution on me. They used up all their ultimates, so that's at least some information that Ultra Legends can work with before they head over to the first objective, which Team Falcons has already gotten a very good position of on the bottom side. So Guinevere is actually going to be the roamer here for Falcons. Really interesting. Usually teams would actually go for the Arlot as their roam if this is the case.
Yeah, and that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to hope to see pans out for them, because right now we now know that Turtle is spawning and Retribution is out of the play for the time being, as we do see another engage coming down into the center here. Yuko is getting knocked back out here. Akai going in, almost picking it out. He cannot pick this up. They're trying for it, but to no avail, and now they're at least safe for one, but very low. They can't force this wave in, and this is completely fine with them, because now they are full clear to go into Turtle.
Ooh, close for comfort there for Yuko.
You were saying?
This time, yeah, it's way too early. They get punished this time, and this Martis is definitely, one of those heroes that, if it snowballs, then it's definitely gonna be hard for Ultra Legends, especially in the early game. So now, first turtle is up, crucial for both sides.
We have to see who picks this up right now, because now we're seeing a lot of resets here. Everyone's just like sending themselves out to go back for the turtle in a big, massive team fight. Look at everyone positioning back in. In fact, even on top side, it looks like Clint might have to back out in just a bit against Arlot, but already we're seeing Falcons push in very hard against them to no avail, as Kunai is now falling back on the back lines here, calling out the dragon, just allowing him to give himself some space. And again, nothing is happening, right? All we know is that, resources have been wasted, but the turtle is still standing.
Yeah, I like the respect that Falcon gave to Ultra Legends as well, knowing that they're trying their best to delay this turtle. Arslan was really low there, so if he actually committed for the turtle, he would have been taken out there by Ultra Legends. So it's great that, they respected it, that, okay, Ultra Legends is trying to zone me away from the turtle, and they backed away from that, even though he was, like, levels ahead of Throwboy here. Speaking of Throwboy, he's actually all the way down in the turtle pit. A lot of ultimates have been invested just for them to actually take that. But you know what? Diamond rotation coming out there from Team Falcons. Middle side as well, gonna get cleared out. The turtle gonna get started out by Arslan as well. Gani really low, and that's gonna be Falcon actually picking up the turtle here. So great start for Team Falcon. If they can keep this up, they should be able to at least manage to put in the pressure in the early game.
I'm very surprised Ultra Legends managed to go this long, not getting another death on their side. Because, remember, this is a very early game call coming from Falcons. They are waiting to see how they can outplay all of them, and they're just slowly waiting for it. Akai going in to peel them out, as Martis is again chasing him down. And this is not looking good.
Oh, I've gotten this combo. Oh, Casper! Whoa, Yuko go in back for the kill. He actually used to purify up, so it's difficult. Yeah, right. Casper didn't want to waste that flicker, and the flicker cooldown is at least like 100 seconds before it is back up. So instead of using the ultimate, but now wow, speaking of ultimate, Super Z he manages to take out Throat Boy which is the spatial migration and the Violet Requiem. So 3 kills for Team Falcons, 4 minutes in. So this is exactly how they wanted to pan out for their side, right? Early game, and for Ultra Legends, I think they understand that this is definitely going to be the case. But I do respect the fact that they are still able to create the pressure in the turtle pit.
Oh, that's a beautiful dive coming in right there, and it looks like this is going to be knocked out for Clint here as Martiz comes in to pick them off. And this basically means the entire tower is theirs for the taking. That's a little bit more gold for them to work with, a little bit more of a lead they can get. The gold lead now is coming to 2k, moving to 3 soon.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that's a massive gold lead, for, especially for Lark, the Beatrix here, has gotten in the gold plating, taken down the tower in 5 minutes. So this is going to be Team Falcons even rotating even faster towards the other lanes, knowing that the top side has already been taken care of. So now Throwboy going for the ultimate here onto Super Z.
Ooh, and it's looking very good here, but I think Throwboy has to pull back. I think definitely got the kill right here and moving in forward. Akai's gonna get knocked out right now, and that's not looking good. That kill is devastating as now they've lost what means to their only means of tank here, as they're slowly being collapsed down into the middle here, as Kunai going in, trying to get the one pick here, at least a trade off, and he does, and that's great. They're trying to slowly stabilize this, and they slowly get in, but getting caught off here. Gani needs to try and protect Team. Peel for him. You don't want him to go down.
Oh man, that was just way too good for Team Falcon, right? Ultra Legends, they wanted to go for the counter punish, but instead they were the ones that were punished heavily here by Team Falcons, knowing that they have so much more advantage in the early game. The Lilia that just slows down Throwboy so well, and even the other teammates as well. And this is exactly what I was saying. The Clint is really so hard to pull off. I mean, it is going to be a late game hero. I'm not so sure what he has as of the moment. We'll have to pull out the items list later on. But 7 kills for Team Falcon, 6 minutes in. So this is at least a kill, almost like a kill per minute, 19k gold lead for them. So I would say this is not that bad yet for Ultra Legends. So if they manage to at least pick up, at least steal away the lore, this should be good for them when it comes to
Look at that though. Look at that, slowly picking them off here. Gunniva is now out for the count, and Yuko is left to just slowly walk around, hopefully not getting caught. But to your point here, Martins does pick up the Clint, and now we look at the level leads. It is across the board 9s on Falcons, and Ultra Legends sitting back at 7, moving 8. That's not looking good in general, especially with 2 turtles on their side here. Not good. They need to take picks rather than that good team fight here. Oh, moving out just in time though. Akai is gonna have to slowly walk away here. Oh, he's getting completely punished here. Trollboy is not looking very healthy after that one. And that's a kill on their side of Falcons moving forward here. A 4-2 here. The dragon pops off, but I think you need to get out of the way now, Kunai. You're not in a good position, and with that tower to hold you back on for a little bit longer, I don't know, it's not safe. You don't want to go in there. That's a free dive.
Yeah, Casper again has been really struggling up against this Lilia. Yuko with 403 here as of the moment. And you know what, Team Falcons, apart from the fact I love that they've been taking out towers as compared to Ultra Legends. Yes, they've been picking up kills, but they haven't been converting that much, right? Looking at the towers here of Team Falcons, it's still pretty much good to go. Except for the bottom side, so pretty much good to go for the next game. So they need to at least take in some towers after their kills. The biggest thing here is if Ultra Legends, they can manage to get a shutdown. Shutdown on Yuko or Archman. They can definitely get that shutdown goal, but as of the moment, right,
they're
Team
trying
Falcons,
it now.
they just keep on going.
Martins is level 11, by the way, so like again they need like a complete team to stop him right now. If not, it's gonna be very hard. Yuko is always down for the count, and with the help from the side here, we managed to get just a little bit off away here. Only going down to Kunai, and that is going to be the result of that skirmish.
Well, I mean, they went in for the spatial migration there for Super Z, setting up the place for Yuko and Lark as well. So that was just very, very good trade-offs here for Falcon. I think they're willing, at least at this point, Super Z is willing to be the sacrificial lamb in all of the clashes, just to make sure that, you know, their damage dealers, Yuko and Lark, are able to get in the kills. And look at this, 8 minutes in, they didn't even wait for the enhanced lord. They just went in for the first lord here. It's not the enhanced one for Ultra Legends, so they can still manage to clear this out. They have a good amount of heroes that can do wave clear. So I think what Ultra Legends here needs is at least a very good heavy spin or a very good wall charge coming out from Gani.
Well, let's see how it goes out. Trollboy is going to wrap around here and maybe peel from Gani? No, we don't see it. Information is not clear here, as we do see Martins on the top side, alongside help with victories. And this is not looking good because they're going to slowly push this up. Arla is just waiting for opportunity to go in as well as they slowly push this up on the top side here. There's not much they can do as Trollboy tries to defend himself here and push them back. And he makes it out at least.
Yeah, all the sides are being pressured here. Inhibitors definitely going to be pressured out here by Team Falcons. I think, you know what, Ultra Legends, they're still up. They should have at least a nice setup from Gani. Kunai has already released the Black Dragon form, and I think they will try to go for more here.
Oh, Kunai's in a really bad spot here. He needs to slowly pull back to his team here as they all take a fight here. Clint is down for the count. Oh, that's 2 right now. This is not looking good and it's getting very messy. The Law is now pushed in and Akai is going down next for a triple. We've got 2 more coming in. Casper is trying to move away as Gani holds them back as best he can. That tower is going all the way down and they do not want to lose this. That's a 4th here. We're going to get an ace right after this if Casper stays on. But it's him or the game, and he has to choose as Casper goes down. That is it. First game going to Team Falcon, who had a splendid lead early on. 2 turtles to a Lord and a complete landslide from there.
Wow, I didn't take note of how long that was because I was so focused on that final team fight because Lunox Casper was managed to get in that double, right? Punishing at least Super Z and the heroes that overstayed in the base. They desperately wanted to end it so well, knowing that Lark is behind them. They can make sure that, you know, as long as Lark is alive, as long as Yuko is alive, they can manage to at least, you know, take down the base, knowing that it was an almost wipeout for the side of Ultra Legends. And like what I mentioned earlier, the composition of Falcons really works well, especially in the early game, and they managed to pull it through. I mean, if it's a little bit more longer, it would be really hard to end that game. So it was a good try for
It
Ultra
was.
Legends. But as for Team Falcons, they definitely executed this type of composition very well.
And tell me about it. I mean, like, we already talked about this, right? If Falcons gets walled off by people like Akai and he has to sustain to just continue to wall them back off for team fights, they would have slowly scaled up to a point where, you know, Ultra Legends would be so strong and there's no way they can catch this up. In fact, I would say like the easiest way to put this for anyone watching would be they either win hard or they fall off hard, right? And Falcons made the win hard happen. I love it.
Yeah, you know what? For Team Falcon, what really worked so well for them is, I think the mastery of the heroes. Well, I don't know about you. For me, I feel like Casper is not that comfortable with the Lunox. Either you know how some teams or say some people that you go up against in rank game, they pick the hero because they know it's OP, they know it's meta, they know it's open, so they're gonna pick it up, but they're not exactly that comfortable with it. So I'm not so sure if Casper and that Clint are very comfortable with those heroes, right? So maybe that might be also a factor because we've seen several times Casper wasn't able to, you know, make in those Lunox plays. I'm pretty sure by the 8-minute mark, she should at least have like 3 items, like 3 core items. So I'm not so sure if it's you know, a strategy that they were trying to pull off or they're just not
Right.
comfortable with the hero.
I think you might be onto something here, right? Like, what else could they have possibly done in that situation? I don't think there's much you can do, right? You're in such a it's like a closed box and there's not much you can do about it. And I don't think it's great for them if they do this. So we have to slowly play it out and see what else they can possibly do in this situation. Like, is comfort picks the play, or is meta going to be the thing that defines, like, you know, how they move forward into this? And right now, none of those are the answers. That's for sure. I think you can agree with me on this, Kip.
Yeah. I think for now, Ultra Legends definitely has a good idea of what the meta is, but execution-wise, you know, I think they have to think it through, right? 2 scaling
Just a
heroes
little
on
bit.
the gold lane, just a little bit, right? Like I think they do have a good idea, right? They picked up some, you know, some really good heroes, especially to sustain the Akai, the Grok as well that did really well. But you know what was really good about what Team Falcons did here in the highlights were the turtle takes, right? Despite the fact that they were pressured by Ultra Legends early on, they were still able to take out all the objectives away from Ultra Legends and starving the opponents in the early game, you know, taking away all of their jungle creeps. It's just what made it really hard for, especially for Throwboy, to actually pick up the items that they need. And if you don't have any turtles, your team is really gonna suffer when it comes to picking up the items that they need.
I think Gani is going to be my highlight player for this round, though, as I mean, look at what he has done early game. It's such a menace to have someone, you know, completely ravaging your jungle and just not letting you farm peacefully. In fact, with a little bit more help, I think Gani's plays would have definitely excelled a little bit more into hoping, you know, that Ultra Legends had a chance in the early game. And that is one thing that I cannot see myself like forgiving myself if I was in that position.
Yeah, overall, I think for Casper, right, looking at this, he was able to pick up a double, but it was
It was just
way
too
too
late.
late. Yeah, way too late. They were locking in the base, and there was nothing much that they could do about that situation. But overall, I think for Team Falcons, the mastery that they have, the
Right.
experience as well, it just goes a long way here, especially in a tournament like this. And as for Ultra Legends, I think it might be also a factor
It
if they
might
might
be.
shine on the blue side. Say, because earlier on they were on the red side, right? So maybe on the
Right.
blue side they can pick up some of the heroes that they actually want. So that might be a case. We'll have to
Who
find out
knows? Who
later on.
knows? But we'll have to definitely figure out where they stand in terms of like what's going on right now, right? I've talked about it just now, and I'm gonna say it again. They have a plan. They're consistent with the plan. It might work out. And right now, what is happening is just that they're being countered on that strategy. So maybe to pick it up, right? Maybe they should also go with something more pick heavy instead of taking team fights. I'm gonna call it again. Grok, just hook them in, take up one pick at a time. That might be the play. And I'm going to keep saying this till they potentially pick it up. Because, I mean, what's going to keep them alive, or at least lasting early on, would be to ensure that their players cannot farm. Their players are slowly trying to, stagger into fights or drag the fights out even longer because they're so low. They have to reset over and over again. And that is what I feel might go on. In fact, another pick we can go on with is Matilda, right? We've talked about how
Yeah.
Matilda is very strong. Getting a lot of that damage in early on in like one burst and just resetting, totally fine. You can do this and repeat. That turtle will take forever to go down.
Yeah, I think they picked up the Grok to be extra annoying in the early game, right? Like having that Grok
Right,
on,
right.
he was just tailgating behind the Martis for the longest time, right? Making sure that he's not able to get in, all of the objectives. And speaking of all the objectives, right? That's exactly what Arswin was able to do in this entire game. Although he's not the MVP here, he made sure that his entire team had, at least all of the turtles in the game. They were able to push in all the turrets, which is exactly what made it easier for them to scale up as well. We have to commend as well the setups here from Super Z, even though he was picked off thrice. It was still his setups with the spatial migration and the Violet Requiem that made it really so much more easier for Lark and Yuko to actually make in the play. Speaking of Yuko, right, this Lilia is such a good hero when it comes to the early game. Yuko actually picked up the Enchanted Talisman to make sure that he has enough mana when they come into the team fights. And for Team Falcons, right, the overall composition that they had for the early game, I was still a bit iffy about the three fighters in the lineup. So they didn't really have a hard tank, but they were able to make it work.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Everyone on the side of Ultra Legends is just very squishy. It's just easy for them to take like strong abilities, go in with low HPs. Like if it hits, that's their game to take, right? And I still feel like Arshan should have been an MVP here. I mean, like 2 turtles and a Lord. Right, granted, it was made by the plays of again Nuka and Lark going in very early on, and Greenway just scouting out the map for them so that he knows he can take it. But like those 2 turtles early on was the game making decision on why they were so ahead in terms of levels. I mean, take a look at it right now, and we can definitely see that level wise, 12 across the board essentially for Team Falcons. The other side, they're averaging 9, and that's not where you want to be.
Oh man, that is a huge difference, right, from Ultra Legends. Although they were able to pick up some kills, but I think they really need to focus on what they want to happen, right? There's not a lot of good wombo combos here. I mean, I guess the Lunox and the Graph would be a good wombo combo, but there's not really a lot of good combos that they can pull off with that. They don't really have that much vision, maybe except for the Grok. But I think overall this composition that Team Falcons had, and what they wanted to happen in that first game, they were able to make it work so well. So let's see if Team Falcon, or is it going to be Ultra Legends that will be on the blue side. I think that might also be a factor on how teams win the games, because I've actually seen reverse sweeps happen when a certain team is on the blue side. So let's see if that will happen for Ultra Falcons, since they were the ones who
Ultra
lost game number
Falcons,
1.
yes. No, Ultra Legends you mean.
Ultra
but-
Legends, rather.
Yes, Ultra Falcons is
I
what we
said that
call
with
them when they win.
A combo, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
combo.
said that with I said that with such a poker face, right? I was so serious. Yeah,
Like-
Ultra
it's like,
Falcons.
Ultra
And- oh, wait, what?
Falcons, they got
Ultra
this.
What?
Right, but again, jokes aside, Ultra Legends definitely have something they want to prove here, and they have got an idea of what Falcons can do. So before we have to crown them as Ultra Falcons, maybe Ultra Legends will take the stage here and shine in this best of 5. As we do see what they're going to pick up later on, we're going to get into the games just a bit. Any other picks you want to see, Kip?
Falmon. Come on, seriously, spin it to win it. Come on, that is like
Spin it to win it.
easy. No, it's one of the easiest heroes to learn in the game. I mean, I don't play a lot of fighters, right? And when I saw
Right.
Balmond, wow, this is so you just spin it, then you just pop in your
One button.
ultimate. You can, yeah, one button. You can secure turtles. You can secure kills. Like, have you played the Balmond? Your health is so low that you pop in your ultimate. You're back up. You're back up to
It's
full
insane.
HP.
It's insane.
Yeah,
I love it. And
super.
of course, I mean, when you're running with Belmont, I mean, like, you die should be unfathomable, right?
Yeah, I mean, early game wise, I think for Ultra Legends, if they want to have that early game, I mean, I think Kai's still good, but if you want to have that early game aggression, you need to get that Balmond. I think a very good combo that I've seen. I think this is solely based on rank games that I've seen, and I can safely say that it can also be executed in this type of professional play, right? Like Balmond Matilda, Balmond Estes. I think Balmond Lilia is also a very good combo. If you're talking about Falcons earlier, they pulled off a really good Lilia play, so they can also
Right.
pull off the Balmond. And now I think for the red side Falcon, they're taking away the Lunox as well. That they also respect as well, like Casper. They respect that this hero can really shred apart their composition when it comes to the late game. And you've seen it. The Lunox was also able to pull off a double kill. Once it reached that 10-minute mark, they were able to pull that off. So they're taking away late game heroes, and I think the heroes that Ultra Legends have picked up in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the strategy you want to go in if you're Ultra Legends, right? If you're gonna stay consistent with your strategy, block their strategy instead. We do see Nana being blocked off here. Champion close to my heart that was supposed to be picked up, but I think they misclicked there. Falcons, don't worry, I forgive you. But now let's see what Kunai is gonna pick up. Are we gonna see our Black Dragon come back into this?
Yeah, I think the Yuzong is one of the priority picks as well for some of the teams here in Arena Esports. But you know what? They're like, yeah,
The psych.
let's pull off that magic cylinder card up against you guys. We picked this. You guys picked this up earlier. We're gonna use it up against you. But apart from the Martis, right? There are other heroes that are wide open. The Angela that was banned away in game number 1. Now it's gonna be used. I think for Falcon, you know what? Martis, Balmond Angela is a good combo too. So they can actually pick that up if they don't want to reveal their cards yet. Maybe they can go for their XP laner, which seems to be the winning condition as well lately, right? Having a very good XP laner can help you secure the turtles early, right? Since the turtle will be spawning in the XP lane.
I mean, first off, yes. Second off, yes. Right, I would like to see on the side of Ultra Legends, though, they pick up a Belmont before anything else, because I think in this case, the Belmont is just gonna look so good and juicy as Martin slowly comes back in for the fight, right? Belmont sustains himself there, and as soon as they're chipped off just a little bit more, Martis can come in flying and sweeping them out. But what I'm also surprised is that Clint is picked back up on the side of Falcons instead of Ultra Legends.
Ooh, wow, this is pretty interesting. Now, this time, you know what? Falcons is like, you're pulling off that card. We're going to do that too. We can pull off this Clint, and we can make sure that we use it as well as you did in game number. Although I wouldn't say they really did that well. Oh, wow. This is quite interesting too, right? Claude, Clint. I would definitely say that the
Ooh.
Claude is way better when it comes to the laning phase. I would say that the Clint has a decent amount of poke, but when it comes to the late game, that's going to be the Claude. And now I like this coming out from Ultra Legends. They pick up the Matilda as well. Okay, no, they're not gonna lock it in, but the Minotaur is also a great choice when it comes to having a roamer here in Falcons as the Angela. There is a lot more crowd control. There's a lot of more plays that you can do. But yeah, they're hovering over some very interesting picks here for the side of Team Falcon.
Right. So what we're gonna look at here, though, I think right now, is they want a little bit more sustain on the side of Falcon, right? Because this time Martin is gonna be the one that's gonna go in ham on the side with Trollboy. But we also need to see how Casper will play along with it. I mean, Casper is our parented roam here, and with a good roam, we might just be able to see something play out with Martis.
Only love at night.
Wow, this is okay. This is so interesting coming out from Falcon. This time they're like, you know what? Let's go for the late game as well for our side. You guys did that earlier. I think we can, at least force out the late game. I love the Sicilian kit personally because I love this hero so much. This is my main hero. So this is the first time.
Right.
This is the first time I'm ever seeing it in professional play again. I know there was a time that the Sicilian was picked up several times after it was buffed, but after a while, it already staggered back in the bottom of the list, other players would prefer the Lilia, the Novaria. So I'm actually pretty surprised that they didn't lock the Novaria. They actually picked up the Cecilion. But speaking of the Novaria, it's still up for taking here for Ultra Legends.
Right. Now, of course, we're going to look into the final bans for both sides of the players here, and we're going to see what they lock out. Lilia, again, going in as a ban, and now let's see what Ultra Legends will go in.
Ooh, Baksha for the early game. I think they're also taking away some early game heroes. I'm not so sure if Balman will be used here. Balman, the Barretts is already out. They've taken away a lot of junglers here. Actually, massive respect. But looking at the side here of the Team Falcon as well, they pick. Oh wow! They also changed their players here for this game, so it's no longer. They changed their jungler, and the XP laner is actually gonna be the original XP laner from Team Falcon. So Alpha is gonna be playing here. It's I would say one of the most seasoned XP laners. So I think they really definitely have something planned out here. And knowing that this first 3 picks of Falcons are, I would say squishy heroes, they should have at least something planned. I would say they would go for definitely 2 tanky heroes for their last 2 picks here.
Right, 2 tanky heroes, what we might see here, but our lot is being picked up again on South Falcon, so we know what's consistent on their side. That is going to the gold lane. But with Ultra Legends, I don't know. I'm excited to see. I'm a little bit confused at what this might be at.
Oh, you know what? The Savior would go so well up against the Cecilion in the laning phase, knowing that they both have a great amount of range. Novaria is also very viable here when it comes to the vision, the Astral Echo that gives a lot of vision to the team. So I think either or they can pick that up, since the Lilia and the Faramis has already been taken away, of course respecting the capabilities here of Casper. They also need someone in the XP lane. This was banned away earlier on. And the Alice for the... Wait, hold on. They're also going for that late game here. Claude and Alice. So I think Ultra Legends has a pretty balanced lineup. What I'm worried about here for Team Falcon, again, they don't really have a hard tank. The Cecilion and the Clint definitely need that. Not unless, the last pick here for Falcon is going to be, either a Balmond or maybe a tank jungler here. That could work really well with their lineup. I think a Balmond would work so well here.
You know what? I'm going to follow with what you're saying here. Valmont actually looks really solid. They have another front line here that they can use to lock everyone down and sustain the fights longer, so that everyone else in the team can make it work, especially Clint.
Oh,
this
wow.
Is what I haven't seen.
Oh, this was buffed up. I think this was used several times in the M5 World Championship, but never actually used as a jungler. Great early game. I guess they're trying to go head-to-head with the Martes, but you know what? Cecilion needs that time. The Clint needs the time. But, having Alpha here as their XP, I think it just enables the entire team to pick up this kind of composition. So, I'd say for Ultra Legends, both their sides have late game heroes. So it's pretty much balanced out for both sides. So I guess when it comes to the early game, the turtles, right? Whoever secures in a lot of the turtles here for the early game will definitely give their teams that that capability to be able to build what they need, especially since if you're so far behind, right, that you're not able to build the items that you need, your opponent will definitely be way ahead of you. So now that's going to be the thing, right? Mid laner and gold laners are scaling lineups for both sides. So I think it's up to the junglers here, Throwboy and Bubblegum for the side of Team Falcons, to be able to make that play in the early game. So Ultra Legends still the same lineup that they had in game number 1 for Team Falcon. We're going to be seeing a slight change up with the teams, or the players rather. So it's gonna be Alpha and Bubblegum playing for Team Falcons this time.
We're gonna have to see what they're gonna do this time. I mean, are we gonna be annoying? Is Gurney gonna come in? Come on. Kunai is going in for the corner here to find out where ours is. And there we go. Already being a nuisance onto the lane here. Just calling it off. But Kunai, again, just slowly but surely taking up everything ahead. Locking his lane out just like that. I love it. I love to see it.
Okay, so okay, is this a wise choice? He's actually okay. Kuna is actually going to the purple buff here of bubblegum to make sure that he gets some stacks. And I mean, come on, you're Uranus. You can pretty much be such a nuisance when it comes to invading in the jungle place. But that actually gave so much room for Arlot for Alpha here to actually scale up as well in the XP lane. And speaking of the XP lane, that is gonna be like just both sides cutting in the waves here, making sure that they have that sustain first before they go in for the turtle fight. Mid side is gonna get a little bit messy. The Sicilian needs the time. The Alice as well, right? That needs the time to be able to scale up when it comes to the itemization. 40 seconds before the first turtle up, and we haven't seen a first blood just yet.
All right, now they're moving in here. It definitely looks like a lot of the waves are all just shoved in, except for the EXP lane. Arena just proxying it all the way, and it's just insanely disgusting here. But Bubblegum is trying to make some play here, slowly pushing it in, especially since the turtle is coming in 20 seconds. They want to hold on a little bit before they take any sort of fight or pokes in. But Garni, again, being that annoying pest he is looking. He's finding, searching for Bubblegum.
Oh man, he's just not letting up, right? Like making sure that
Just
Bubblegum
not.
is like, yeah. I mean, earlier he did that to, Ashval as the Martis, right? This time he's gonna do it to the next jungler here, Team Falcons. Good thing they do have this Angela for the sustain when it comes to the clashes, and now Yuko. Wow, did not
going
see
in.
Throw Boy in that bush. And this is exactly what you don't want to give a Martis in the early game, right? Now it forces the other team members here of Falcons to actually back away. Look at the pressure that they're creating, and this time they're the ones actually taking in the pressure, giving in the pressure to Team Falcons. They should be able to take this turtle without any contest.
Yeah, without any contest indeed. Look at that, all to Martis and Casper, all on his own just like that. But I want to also note that this time first blood is going towards the side of Team Falcons still. No, sorry, Ultra Legends. I keep messing up names because it's side to sword. But forgive me for that, as Choboy is going to see another re-engagement with Bubblegum here as he take a fight. But Uranus slowly going to chip himself over the tower and again going to try and lock in with his team. As we move up here, we look, Martis
wow.
has got the kill onto Bubblegum here, and it looks very, very dangerous moving forward as they're able to slowly push back in. Ultra Legends now has a better shot at controlling the game here.
Oh no, they have great control here. 4 kills early on, and you know what? Having the Angela Super Z just reached that level 4, so it was also pretty 50-50 when it comes to the team fights here for the Team Falcons, right? It's gonna be really hard when Angela does not have that hard guard, so you can't really dive into the clashes, knowing that there's a whole lot of crowd control, a whole lot of damage as well coming out from Ultra Legends in the early game this time. So
Well, not
top
yet.
side is it's a bit different story though here on the top side. Lark is actually doing really well up against the Claude here that, when it comes to the laning phase, I would say the Claude has a little bit more advantage, right, when it comes to the pokes.
A little bit more advantage indeed, but what's a little gonna do if you're completely jumped on here? They're up 4 kills here, and they're slowly going to try and get a third one. Choboy going in for the 5th, and this is looking very good. Jungle is basically theirs for the taking once again. Ultra Legends is just saying, you know what? This is my jungle now. I don't want you to have this.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Team Falcons did earlier in game number 1, right? The Martis, as long as it can snowball, this is exact same rotation that they did on the top side right now. They're taking in a lot of the playthings, forcing in all of the members here of Team Falcons to actually rotate towards that top side. So there's a lot of, minions that have been missed out here by the Sicilian of Yuko. So that itself is already a huge win for Ultra Legends.
Okay, all I'm hearing you say is they're falling behind, and absolutely you're right, as we do see an entire fight happening and waves are just slowly being lost here. Level difference is 7, average to 6, and they're going for another one. Casper going in here and he's completely locked out to a 4v1 here, and I don't think he can make it out just in time. No, not there. He got the kill, unfortunately, and this is going to look like Falcon's time to turn around. Bubblegum going in here. Strong shield with the ultimate there, but to no avail here, as we do see them completely walled off just like that. That global ultimate with the shielding there was so good, but no way he's going to make it work. Angela almost had this in the back for Bubblegum, but that's how it is.
Oh, that's just insane, right? Having in Alpha here, they're actually making Alpha switch up to the top side and making Lark actually move towards the bottom side. So 7 kills for Ultra Legends this time. 5 minutes in, that is a whole lot of kills. 5 kills, all going to Throwboy this time as the Martis. So this is something you definitely don't want to have, right? It's gonna be so hard to bounce back from this situation, not unless they get a shutdown onto the Martis.
Well, I mean, as long as Martin is going to be strong and he doesn't get caught out anytime soon, he should be fine, right? I mean, he's like the assassin of the group right now. He's just trying to jump in and get a lot out of it. And they do see coming in clean, trying to make something play here, pushing him so far back in. But man, can you really call that a victory? I mean, you definitely pushed the wave back out, but like, it's not like you're going to take any picks from here. Kunai just trying to walk his way back out here, but slowly being chipped out. But hey, he's a tank. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, now backs against the wall here for Team Falcon. I think they can just punish the overextension here for Ultra Legends. It's gonna be hard though in this early game. They do pick up some kills here and there, but it's still very much evident that, you know, Ultra Legends, they're way ahead here. 20k as compared to Team Falcon. 6k lead for their side. Even Casper is slowly scaling up here. Look at Throwboy.
Ooh. And there we go. Martin is completely locked down here. Choboy is out for the count. You know what? It was a good dive in, but you did not need to go for it. And they almost make it out here. Super Z and for looking very low here. Lark just gonna stay here and just go for a recall here. They need to reset here if they want to do anything. And this gives them an opportunity to slowly shut the towers in.
Okay, it went down to 4k here for Team Falcons. They did get the shutdown onto Throwboy. They also managed to take down Casper, so that's at least some shutdown gold for their side, but it's still too early to tell here. Scaling lineup for Team Falcons. What's really hard here for the lineup of Team Falcon is what Throwboy is gonna do is that they make sure that the heroes here for Team Falcons are really low, and then the Claude goes in for the cleanup work. Just goes in for that Blazing Duet. He can be able to shred down Super Z and Yuko. And I did mention that this is such a squishy lineup coming out from the side of Team Falcons. They don't really have a hard tank here.
Ooh, and right now they're already going for another skirmish here with that no hard tank. Bubblegum going in strong here, almost taking it out, 50% down, finishing it up. And they're gonna try and see if they can go for that very tanky Goni. Looking very juicy all on his own here, but Kunai is waiting for opportunity to come in. Doesn't see it, goes back to farm. Another fight ensues there again, and looks like it's just gonna end up into a few tough punish, as we do see Martis going in for it. Bubblegum able to walk back out, but is trying to go for the fight here. And now again to no avail, they're slowly waiting for opportunity here. And again, all that resulted from it is time wasted on the side of Team Falcons, being unable to farm because they have to respond to this.
Yeah, looking at the gold here though, Team Falcons, they're slowly catching up here. 21k earlier was like a 7k lead. Now it should be at least like closing in the gap to at least 4k. Maybe later on if they get some more kills, that should be at least, you know, making it at par with Ultra Legends. So now the problem here for Ultra Legends is how do they end this thing? Team Falcons has a good amount of wave clear here, not unless they manage to shut down at least the Cecilion or Lark here at this point, and it's still, they can still do that, right? They have the Claude, they got the Alice to dive in. Lots of great dives coming out from the side of Ultra Legends. So if they manage to do that right now, they should be able to
You mean like this one? Like this one?
They're also diving in too.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Yeah, Kunai's all alone, but you know, he's playing Uranus. He's very tanky. He just needs to wait for someone to follow up with him as they slowly pick this out. Alpha going back in to take the fight here, but it looks like Goni is going to slowly pinpoint and Bubblegum is going to be out of the count. If it weren't for the fact that Casper's coming around the corner and Bubblegum gets slain right now, we're moving into a very massive team fight here as Goni goes down for the count. Uranus is still looking low here against a 2v2 here as Trollboy comes in for this. I think Alpha is definitely going to be knocked out here. The damage coming in from Trollboy is immense here, following out with Kunai, who was once low on HP, finally going back up. This is not looking good. If they continue to take this fight, it's surely going to slow down into the side of Ultra Legends. And slowly, bit by bit, Kunai is taking the damage, but look at it. So healthy, so massive.
Yeah, all he needs to do is like, I can take the damage here, I can be the frontliner, and that's
Hit me! Hit me!
Here. Exactly, that is exactly what he's doing here for Ultra Legends, and it's working. There's so many things that Team Falcons needs to worry about right now, right? Either they take down Kunai, but if they take down Kunai, they still have Casper. If they take down Casper, they still have Goni or Throwboy here to front for the side of Ultra Legends. So overall, it's such a good, you know, front to back line composition. As for Falcons, right, they're really struggling when it comes to the ones frontlining. Again, they don't have a hard tag, although with the good positioning from Lark, they should be able to make it out alive.
Thank goodness they do make it out alive, because Alpha definitely walked into something that he did not want to carry on. I don't know if I would have been in that position. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, definitely not, right? Right in the middle of at least like 4 tanky heroes that that only you can sustain, right? At this point, like, it's only Alpha and Bubblegum that's sustaining in the damage. I'd say the late game is a little bit too late now for the early game rather. It's a bit too late for the Tam, as he really had a hard time going up against Gonnie's Minotaur, right? Making sure that he does not have the resources that he needs, and now Kunai as well being such a menace here to Team Falcons. Knowing that once he's up, right, Team Falcons does not know how to take him down, does not know how to burst him down. I think at this point, the only one that can fully burst down Kunai should be the Sicilian here of Team Falcons.
And then again, don't forget, Kunai is still playing Uranus. He's a tank. Even if you could attempt to burst him down, is it worth it for a chance? Right? Kunai goes in again and he's just slowly chipping everyone off here. Giant balls circling around him. I don't know if I want to say that out loud anymore, but I don't think they want to see it either. Falcons is not looking good in this position. They just need to jump in here as Kunai is tanking everything out. He's still able to get out just fine. No issues, no answers required. And again, chipping that out once again. Casper's looking a little bit worse for wear, but Choboy waiting for opportunity to just take them out one go. Alpha almost going into danger zone right there. If he dive any further, that would have been it. And it looks like they're just not in a position to fight, but the further they go from tower, the more dangerous it is. Kunai again being the first to get knocked in, engaging in this fight here. They don't really want to do this right now.
6k back again for Ultra Legends here. It's so hard. I think for Team Falcons this is exactly what I was worried about. I know I just want to flex it a little bit because I was top Philippine Sicilian, so I know exactly
You're
how this
top
hero is
Philippine
played.
Sicilian. Yeah, that is true.
It's hard to play with this lineup because you don't really have someone to front for you, right? Yes, I know the Alpha can front, Bubblegum can front, but you need someone like hard tanks to front for you to be able to make the plays. And what's harder here for the lineup of Ultra Legends is they have that Alex to reach the backlines, or maybe even the Uranus here. So they don't really have for Team Falcons, they don't have that type of composition that can make the Sicilian just free hit everyone at this point. Like everyone is just focusing their fire on
it might be
Kunai,
here.
and
He's still here
at this point.
He's still here.
He's
His numbers are bigger than yours. You cannot kill him.
Yeah, I think even at this point, like with the Sicilian being able to burst, yes, the Sicilian can definitely burst down that Uranus, but at this point, where there's so many heroes that can take you down as well, like the Alice and the Claw that I did mention, right? Well, that with the Blazing Duet. Now they're facing this problem on who will front, and usually it's Alpha, but he's also taking in a lot of damage.
Right, here we go. That's another lot they might actually just pick up from the south. They're trying to take another fight here and slowly going in. Casper can just sit down here and buy some time. You know what? Going down here might be fine here, but I think they just want to go for a good team fight and look at the amount of damage coming in. There's no survivors left remaining here. And you do see Super Z being the next one to go down, and Alpha the last one standing. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Full wipeout. I think this should be over. They can end this thing. They got minions coming down south. They don't even need the Lord here. They got the Claude to shred. They have one minion. They have one siege, and it's over. It's over.
If you can't work with minions, just do it yourself, right? Grab that 2 fingers, start slamming it onto that tower, that last bastion of hope, and there we go. Ultra Legends taking the second game. I mean, where can we start, Kim? Where can we start?
I don't even know where to start. Team Falcons, what they had there was, okay, they have a great idea, but you know that their composition is so hard to pull off. I could safely say that myself because again, you know, flexing that top PH Sicilian, it is so hard to play a Sicilian with that lineup. Your opponents have front to back line, your opponents have dive compositions, and you definitely need heroes to front. The only ones who can front for you is like what I mentioned, the Alpha and Bubblegum, and those are not really hard tanks. So it was so hard for Team Falcons to execute the type of gameplay that they want, is to have those heroes shred those HP bars when it comes to the late game, but they definitely did not have the good position to do so. They got Casper, you know, you've seen it, right? Casper diving into the back lines, and once he dives into the back lines, all he needed to do was pop in that Winter Truncheon, using that Blood Orb to escape, or it was actually Kunai just fronting in for the side of Ultra Legends, and all they need to do is they can use those heroes as diversions as the rest of the team actually secures in objectives. I don't think Team Falcons was able to take in any turtles or any Lord in this game.
Yeah, they really didn't have an opportunity to do much from then on, and it just slowly came to the favor of Ultra Legends, and I really love how they played it out. My favorite player, or the highlight player I think for this round, was actually coming in for Uranus, Kunai, right? Slowly proxying the lanes out, not letting him have a chance to farm, and every single time, because the lanes had nothing to slow them down, he just walked away, and he was able to assist them as like a second roamer. And I really love how he was able to utilize that to such a degree that Well, I mean, look at the Martis. They ended up being so strong because of that little bit of extra assist.
Yeah, that's exactly why they prioritize this as well. And I mentioned it earlier. If you give that Martis that early game snowball, I guess at this point it's like a fireball. Both sides, like Martis wins games. So both sides were able to do that, right? For Ultra Legends as well as Team Falcons, they were able to pull off that early game Martis so well. But I think what made it really different here for game number 2 was that it was hard for these late game heroes like the Sicilian and the Clint to be able to make the plays that they need to do, knowing that they have the Alice and the Uranus, just making sure that they aren't able to position themselves well. So yeah, you know what? Game number 2 has been really interesting as well because they picked up some non-meta heroes, which is actually quite refreshing for me as a caster, right? For the longest
Right.
time, I've seen like
Meta,
Novaria.
meta.
Come on, it's like always a Novaria, Valentina, and a Lilia in the mid. So never anything else. So I like seeing this. At least it's something new for me.
All right, you know what, Kim? I'm gonna ask you again. You're welcome to take back your vote on Falcon winning. I'm just saying the offer still stands. Ultra Legend is still open for one more caster to join them in the winning side.
Hey, someone has to take Falcon's side. If you're on the side of Ultra Legends, right, I have to take Team Falcon's side. And not only that, is they have a special place in my heart as well because I've casted one of my first few casts here in MENA casting their games. So yeah, I really have to take their side at this point. And somebody has to take a side for both Ultra Legends and Team Falcon. So it's way too early to tell. Still have at least 3 more games. So it's currently at 1-1 if you guys just tune into the live stream. So it's an even ball game right now for Ultra Legends and Team Falcons.
Indeed. And right now, we're also looking at who is going on to join us in the top 8 for their playoffs. But let's look at the highlights real quick before we go to that. Early on, we can see a lot of skirmishes coming in very early on. But again, 1 or 2 picks here and there coming on the side of Falcon. But look at the result of like everything else after that. They take a turtle from 1 kill on Casper, completely shredding Hermit here, and then a third one coming in for Lark. I hate to say this, but like Ultra Legends completely stomped them here in terms of just punishing them. Whenever they got something, it was punished.
Yeah, and the dives that Throwboy did in the early game, he managed to rack up 5 kills as early as 6 minutes. Yep, like this, and the combo of the early in game number 1, I was like, that's such a weird combo coming out from the side of Ultra Legends, right? There wasn't any very good combos, but this time I think for Ultra Legends they made it really work. So they got the Minoan's Rage and combined it with Throwboy's Decimate. So there was just so much to consider here for Team Falcons, especially when they go into the clash. Their backline is completely unprotected at this point. See this? Like Yuko is trying to kite the members here of Ultra Legends from the back, but Casper made it so hard, Kunai made it so hard that the Sicilian, the Clint here wasn't able to position themselves well, and the only ones remaining are usually the roamers and the XP laners. And by the time they had that wipeout, it was GG. Well played. Complete wipeout for the final clash up against Team Falcons, and they were able to pull off the W here and equalize the playing field once again here up against Team Falcons.
And again, I mean, like, what else can you possibly say about that? They definitely played out to their strengths here. I mean, of course, Kunai being the immortal Uranus, going in very hard, and especially with Casper and Angela, just giving them so much healing and shooting abilities onto the games here. I mean, I believe even if Martis were to dive early on, it would have been really hard without Angela coming in here. And Casper definitely understood the situation enough to help out with, Martis being strong, especially with someone like Uranus to help out with the extra roam ability. Hey, you know what? It just panned out so well for them. I cannot believe it. But we are going to see MVP going to Gani here. So
yeah. Okay, you did call it. You did kind of... I don't say you kind of jinxed it earlier in game number 1. You wanted to give that MVP to Gani, and finally he did get that MVP here in the second game. I think a lot of people would be expecting either it's, Throwbar or Kunai, because those are the 2 heroes that you always see in clashes. But, Gani... having 9 assists, I think a lot of you guys did not see that Minoan's Rage that Gani was able to pull off, right? That Minoan's Rage that, temporarily knocks up the heroes here from Team Falcons, and all Throwboy or Casper needed to do was just go in for the dives. Even the Claude here, all he needed to do was just go for the Blazing Duet. It was all set up here by Gani, and of course we can't count out Casper and Kunai here as well. That has been, doing a good job zoning away the back lines here at Team Falcons, which is exactly why they weren't able to position themselves well. My only problem here with the lineup of Falcons Martis, they didn't have a hard tank. I would have at least, I didn't understand the point of having the Toms. I get it. It's an early game hero. It can go head to head with the Martis, but I'd rather have the Balmond, right? I'd rather have the Balmond go in for the lethal counter to securing the objectives, because in this game Falcons was not able to reach any of those objectives at all.
Right. And of course, like we said it before, it just felt very hard. I mean, once you get the first one, it's not easy for them to carry on. Right? The first turtle went down, and from then on, it was just kind of like a game of, do you really want the turtle? Instead of getting everything for themselves, they decided to use it as a bait, sit down there and wait, which is correct, right? I mean, you're Martis, you're not really a tank per se, you're more of an assassin. You just want to wait there for opportunity to jump in and fight.
Definitely, and that's what he did. There was a shutdown out of Throw Boy. So yeah, he's the one that has the most gold here next to the Claude. And I think overall this was just a great game for Ultra Legends. There were some punishes done there by Team Falcons, but definitely they did so well here for Ultra Legends. Just giving the side here Team Falcons a taste of their
Really?
own medicine by having that Martis as well in the late game. But now, you know what, guys? We have to take a quick break first before we proceed to game number 3. So don't you guys click that browser. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Arena Esports MLBB. This is powered by Etisalat and of course our strategic partner 80 Gaming and our broadcast partner Playtonia. Still with me, Burger Kim and Nitera. We're gonna be bringing you action, more MLBB action in just a bit. So we just finished the first two games. We got a 1-1 up against Ultra Legends and of course Team Falcons, and it's gonna be continuing to go on up until game number 3, possibly game number 4. We'll have to find out. But you know what? Speaking of, this is a best out of 5, so the teams have to at least win 3 series to take in the W here for this monthly finals.
Right, and of course, as we're taking a look at how they can possibly play this out, I think they've got a good shot. I mean, we know who we're going for, right? For both of us, and it's looking kind of stacked right now. But mental reset here for both of them as they go into the pick and bans, and we're gonna see how this pans out from here. Angela being the first one to knock themselves out here, which I think is a very good choice coming from Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think starting off the banning phase here, I think Falcons, they definitely don't want to go up against the Angela. This was a repeat ban that they had back in game number 1. They were able to use it in game number 2 due to the fact that they were on the red side. The Martis has been banned away as well. Finally! Okay, we'll finally get to see who wins the game. So it was our theory, right? Having the Martis, you guys win the game. And now they no longer have that. I think they're respecting the fact as well that, Falcons can have that great early game once they have this up. 1-1 was also banned away earlier. Barrett's has also been a repeat ban here for Team Falcons, so I
They're
think
just
they
scared
also
of
know.
Barretts.
I think it's hard to go up against the Barretts, especially after the revamp, right? There's no way of dodging the ultimate anymore, right? It also has a dash before it dives in. The Joy also is difficult to deal with, especially if you don't have like that suppression. So I think these are good bans coming out from both sides. I'm really curious on what they will pick up first here for Falcon, knowing that they are back on the blue side and they no longer have the Martis.
Yeah, let's take a look at what goes on in their hits here. I mean, we've seen them call in very common picks for this game at least. So I don't think it's too far to say that we might see again maybe the Grok block this time. I mean, Goni has been going insane, right? So I believe Uranus might be another pick they might go for later on. But I mean, other than that, like really, the pick and ban game is full of possibilities right now.
The Baksha as well, right? So much possibilities. I think it will all boil down to this last ban coming out from the side of Ultra Legends. Either they decide to go for the Nolan ban or they go for something different
They're not
here.
banning
Maybe
Nolan.
if they're not gonna ban it,
There we
oh
go.
wow, it's open. It's totally open. Now this is gonna give yeah. Automatically they'll pick that up, right? This has been the hero that is on top of the ban list. CC as well.
Well-
I'm not so sure if the teams are comfortable with picking that hero up, knowing that as far as I know, based on my experience, it's just a really good jungler. It's fast when it comes to jungling, deals a decent amount of damage, and can be really annoying in team fights. So I'm not so sure if that will be picked up here by Ultra Legends or will be picked up here by the side of Team Falcons, knowing that they'd love to go for double fighters when it comes to the Roman XP position.
I mean, what are the odds that Trollboy picks up Fred here? What are the odds? Right, you've got a good stable front line to some extent when you go with Fred, and also, I mean, it's not like Fred couldn't double up on the roles.
Mhm. Yeah, I think now for Ultra Legends, this is
Nana.
pretty interesting. What's pumped here? I get it. I get it. It's not even it's not even top of the list when it comes to the gold laners. It's not even on. I wouldn't say it's on A. I personally would put it on B. Sometimes on A. I guess it's very situational for me. But I'd rather go for the standard. Ixia or probably like a Claw. These are heroes that are always shining in the gold lane. Maybe even I would dare say yeah, Beatrix is also very good. So I don't know what's up with the clit. Both sides seem to be prioritizing this pick.
They know something
when
we
you're
don't.
on the red side. I know it's great for pokes, but I don't get it. It does not have as much mobility as the other marksmen, as the newer marksmen. So I don't know what's the thing here. I like the Bruno has a lot more mobility. The Clit only has the flicker, maybe the second skill, but you know what? It's not as mobile as the lineup here of Team Falcons. Actually, they're going back to their original lineup as game number 1. So maybe
Minus
this is
the
a
Nolan,
strategy.
right?
Yeah, minus the Nola. This is I mean not the team composition. I'm talking about the players. They went back to
I see.
their
Yeah, you're
original
right.
players in game 1, right? Archvin and Hulk is actually back here for Team Falcons.
right? I mean, we're gonna see what True White picks up here. I mean, he has, you know, the pick coming in as the jungler. Let's see where they want to go in for something strong this time, a little bit more self-sustaining. I called for it, but it's anyone's guess at this point.
Mm-hmm. The Nana is also pretty interesting here for Casper, right? It can get pretty annoying. I would say this is probably one of the most annoying heroes next to Diggy. When it oh, come on! Finally, somebody picked this
The
up! This was
Belmont.
open for the past 2 games and no one has been picking this up. This is such a good pick. Great early game. I'd say it can go head-to-head with the Nolan as well. Now, all they need to do is have that early game type of roamer as well, like a Matilda, or I would say Rafaela is also a pretty good combo with the Balmond. Angel's already out, so I think at this point, Ultra Legends is probably gonna ban out an XP lane and a roamer here. Based on the past games, like game number 1, they picked up a Guinevere and an Arlott, so that might actually be considered on the ban list here for the side of Ultra Legends.
All right, Guinevere
Oh,
is
there you go.
banned.
On
There we
cue.
go. Wow,
Right
on
on cue.
point, on point. And you call me the stats guy, Kim? You call me the stats guy?
Yeah. Well, I guess I got it from you. It's kind of rubbing off on me right now. It's definitely rubbing off on me too. So Guinevere, I think Arlott might also be banned away here for the last pick, knowing that they've spammed the Arlott for the past 2 games. Although I would say it didn't really work out well for them in the game number 2. Now, for the side of Falcons here, they need to ban away a roamer. Ghani's heroes, right? Like the Minotaur that was so hard to deal with. I wouldn't say the Grok was difficult to deal with. I'd say the Minotaur was pretty difficult. Like there's a heal, there's the setup, but it's the same case here when they're on the blue side. The Teresa has been banned away as well. Maybe a Uranus also. So they might actually just let the Minotaur slip up, ban away the Uranus here of Kunai that was so difficult to deal with in game number 2.
I'm gonna say Tigreal might take a showing on the side of Falcons this time. I mean, we haven't seen Tigreal out yet, but if you're gonna run in Belmont, you're gonna need something against Belmont. You're gonna throw another rock at him.
I will choose my
Arlott is bad, like you said. You're 2 for 2 now, Kim.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's expected, right? Because that was the composition that worked really well for the lineup here of Falcons in game number 1. This is pretty much, if they let that Guinevere and Arlott slide, that's pretty much like the same lineup that they had in game number 1, which made it really work for them. So they need like the setters right now. So Falcons will have to pick up at least maybe a Minotaur, steal it away from New Legends. But I think at this point, New Legends
I
will
don't think
have
they will.
the first pick here for the second phase. So they're really thinking it through. Is it gonna be the Minotaur or is it gonna be the Uranus? I think at this point it should be the Uranus. It's so good for zoning away the Bruno and the Lilia here. That is definitely a melee hero. But none of that. Yuzong is also a great way for zoning out the backlines here. So that means that Ghani is free to pick up the Minotaur or maybe pick up the Grok that he seems to like so much.
I mean, there is one other thing I do believe we haven't seen yet, and that's Matilda at some point, right?
Hmm. Matilda. Yeah, Matilda is such a great combo with the Balmond, especially in the early game. You can
Exactly.
definitely be the ones exerting pressure in the jungle as compared to the Nolan that is also that type of the early game snowball. Pretty much like the Martis, right? If you get it stacked up, if you get it farmed up really well, it's gonna be so difficult to deal with, knowing that the only counter to the Phoveus perhaps should be to the Nolan should be the Phoveus. That is a good counter up against it. But now if they pick up the Phoveus, the side here of Falcons can't pick up the Esmeralda. So they will choose to go for their roamer first, which I think is a very smart choice. Leaving that last pick,
Oh,
out in the open. Tigreal, I mentioned earlier, that has been doing so well in ranked games and professional play, and now it actually might be hovered in or might be locked in by Team
I
Falcons.
think it might be locked in. I mean, I did say you need to throw a rock against Belmont here. If not, who are you really gonna contest against them, right? That's kind of the plan I had in mind. And the question is who you're gonna pair Tigreal with. That is my question.
Oh man. But I think this is a good way to set the place or set things up here for Team Falcons. They also need that type of XP laner that can do the same thing, not just sustain, not just sustain the lane, right? But someone to set up the place. Teresa was a good pick. The Guinevere was also a good one. But now they add up the CC because they, looking at the first 3 picks here of Falcons, they definitely don't have the CC. And now adding up the Tigreal and the export just makes so much sense. But I'm just a little bit worried about going up against the Balmond or the Minotaur. Now they're hovering over these other picks. They definitely need someone who can go head to head here with this X-Borg in the XP lane. Benedetta is also a good choice, I would say. It can just cut out the
Saber.
waves. It's so mobile. Not a Saber, but I'd go for a Benedetta at this point.
To my confusion, yes, that's why I said Saber. I was like, huh? All right,
I
let's
mean,
see
it's
what they
great
do.
if you're
Pick up.
going against the lineup in game number 2. The Saber would have worked, right? But maybe they go back to perhaps a Uranus that can really sustain the lane. Uranus, Edith. I think all these are really good choices. But I think at this point he's just flexing his skins.
I mean, he has a lot of options. Let's be fair here. Like, you could have gone for a lot of things here. I mean, you know the full lineup. If you wanted to play anything more counter picky, that option's on the table.
Yeah, you know how long it took for Kunai to pick up that Dairot? It took him like what, at least 15 seconds of showing all of the skins that he had in his account before he actually locked it in. So yeah, I think it's a good way to play mind games here as well for Team Falcons, knowing that the Uranus was still up for the picking. But looking at the lineup here of U Legends, it's gonna be so difficult to deal with the Nana here. I do like the revamp of skills. It's so easier to get caught up with the Molina right now and then spam in that ultimate. It's a great combo, but you really have to time it very well. Even the Minotaur here, the Minotaur trade should be timed really well. I think timing is gonna be key here for you Legends. They have a good early game, but for Team Falcons this time, it's a bit more well-rounded as compared to the lineup that they had in game number 2 was a little bit questionable.
We'll have to see. I mean, Bruno is going to go against Nana, by the way, right? It's one of the more interesting ways to play this around. We're going to have to look at how this is going to span out, because I don't like how we go against Nana. You are saying the same thing that I'm going to think about, which is basically that Nana is very easy to like pilot it out. In fact, the damage coming in from that is so massive. I mean, look at her go right now, right? Just going in like that, Yuko has to try and force the fight here if he doesn't want to take the damage. And already just one boomerang was enough to lock him out a quarter, but only to get called out by the rest of the team with Super Genius.
Oh, look at the bait there by Casper. He just, that's
he walked
really
out.
annoying as a Nana. You have, as long as you have that passive, you're gonna be really confident to go in all those clashes. And knowing that the Lilia here, Yuko, didn't even have the black shoes yet. It's a great way to bait out the Lilia, spamming out the skills as the moment. So I think it was a good type of mind games in the mid lane here for Ultra Legends. They were able to pick up a kill, although it did go to Goni. So right now Yuko should be actually extra careful when going up against the Nana here. That can be really annoying. It has the passive. As long as it has that up, right, it can definitely escape all of the clashes that it needs to disengage from.
Right, I mean, so what if you're squishy? You're just gonna walk in and not die. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, as long as it's so annoying. I'm so happy that they added that feature to Nana, because before it didn't have that indicator when the passive was up or not.
It's
like
a QOL change. I love it.
Yeah, I like the change, especially if you're going up against it. You know when the passive is up. You don't know. I mean, right now it's just a great way to go up against it. And now Team Falcons actually claps back with another pick off there on the mid lane. I'm not so sure what Kunai was doing this time. You're no longer Uranus. You're more of a burst type of hero. First turtle is up. This should be crucial for both sides.
Well, we'll have to see what to see. The first turtle, like you said, is out. Belmont's already going onto it, and it looks like everyone's just gonna rotate around here. Hulk coming around the corner to try and pick him up against Troll Boy, and has zoned him off perfectly well, only to get caught out by Kunai again. And we're gonna see how this pans out, as Arman is just slowly making his way over. They've decided, hey, we're gonna just farm up here. Casper getting level 4 would be immense here for this fight, as Yuko is slowly making his way over.
Yeah, this is really interesting too. From the lineup of Falcons, this is the lineup in game number 1 wherein they always restart the turtle, knowing if they don't have their ultimates up or they have Ultra Legends just zoning them away, they make sure to reset the turtle, making sure that Ultra Legends can't get it. Now for Super Z, goes in for the
Troll
flicker
Boy
and the combo. Man, Troll Boy gets taken out, and that's gonna be the turtle picked up there by Team Falcons. But I think for the price of Hulk, he does flicker out to safety, so that is gonna be a good trade for the side of Team Falcons. They pick up the turtle, and
a kill.
They didn't have any they didn't have any casualties at all for that clash.
Merely a flash wound on their side. I mean, like, they're walking all 5 from this one. Super Z is just trying to make sure he gets something out of it. And to no avail. I mean, yeah, Turco, you're a tank. You're not going to be really making waves right now, especially when you're only at level 4. So we're going to have to slowly pan this out and wait for opportunity. As Goni knows, he's just sitting there. He knows.
Yeah, Super Z just did that combo so well. Goes in for the implosion. Oh, wow. Archman right now on a killing spree. Dives right in to take out the Clint here. And now they should be able to take the gold plating here on the bottom side. Great start here for Team Falcons. Way different from what they had in game number 2. So if they can keep this up, this should be them at least taking in the lead, maybe up until 5k here if they take in the next turtle as well.
They're a 1k gold difference right now, and it's not that much, right? So Team Falcons still needs to be very careful coming in.
Man, 10k right now. I mean, yeah, the Balmud is farming up pretty well. I guess what really went well in that first encounter up against Turtle was Throwboy was caught in the middle of the implosion of Super Z, was willing to land in that ultimate to make sure that Throwboy doesn't click that lethal counter to take in the turtle. So they were able to set up the play, take out Throwboy, and even take up the turtle. So if they can keep up this pressure, especially on the gold lane as well, look at that. The gold plating has been shred down to half HP. I think at this point they can be able to take it down a whole lot more, right? Lark has been farming up so well. I think at this point he should be way ahead against the Clint. And now the turtle's going to be the target here for both sides. Once again, the second turtle for the game. First one was taken in by Team Falcons. So like what I mentioned, the X-Borg is such a great way to zone out Kunai and even Throwboy.
Ooh, we're gonna see whether they can play this out well though, as we are slowly seeing them just going for picks. Goni's gonna go down for the count here to the 2v1, and the tower is basically theirs for the taking. But again, Arvine has better things to do here, just like the turtle right there. And Trollboy has to respond to this right now. 2 levels under as well, don't forget.
Well, it's gonna be a retribution battle at this point, knowing that Super Z is gonna go down to the bottom side.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's a little though. He used up the ultimate already, so this is the time to go. Not unless Kunai is gonna go for the ultimates. That's gonna be a 3v2 situation here. Yeah, Kunai really low, misses in that ultimate, but that's gonna be Kunai taken down really low. Turtle's already at 140 HP. Let's see who's gonna be able to take it. Yeah, he has the immortality, but that's gonna be Ultra Legends picking up the turtle, and now Hulk still has that last insanity up and kicking. But you go look at the trade-off here from the side of Team Falcons. They managed to take down the bottom lane, and the rest of the team members here are still alive and kicking. Now Casper as well. Passive is no longer available here for the taking, and this should be good. Yeah, they can dive it, but Casper, not so sure if it's wise to be, saving in this tower, because this is gonna be a lot more damage coming out from the side of Falcons. Look at their
They might take this one. One for team. One more.
One more for Gotti. He's gonna be able to sustain. Here comes the Balba from the backside. Super Z running all the way, using that retribution here, but he's not gonna be able to use that lethal counter. Everyone goes back to safety.
The spinning, but not the winning, unfortunately, as they're able to just completely fall back here. Not yet. Okay,
yeah,
not yet. But right now, 6-3. They are 3k goal difference, right? 2k goal difference.
You're on the side of Ultra Legends here, so you should be saying not yet.
What I'm hearing is you have defected from Falcons, and I'm going back there.
Not yet. Not yet. I was just reminding you of your role. That you should be on the side of Team Falcons, but Throwboy is in trouble here.
Oh, Trollboy is completely knocked out here by the Nolan, and that is going to be devastating as they were able to push in for the tier 1 tower. But with the help of Nana here, they might be at least able to chip them out for another fight.
Ooh, solo kill on the top side though by the Clint. Onto Lark. Wow, speaking of Lark, right? He hasn't been doing so well here. 0-3-2, lots of pressure. It's a good thing that the rest of the team members here of Team Falcon is doing well. If not, this Bruno has been suffering the rat here, the Clints. And, when it comes to the pokes, the Clints definitely has a lot more advantage. Mobility-wise, I wouldn't say so, but they should be able to take this top side tower for Falcons. I think it's going to be an even trade on the bottom side. Oh, wait, no. That's going to be Hulk actually sustaining in the bottom side. So that is going to be, I'd say, a lot of pressures on the sides as well. And it's a big factor that Team Falcons also took down the middle tower there. It's going to be so much more easier taking in the objectives, such as this turtle. This is going to be the last one for the game.
Super Z is already standing by for an opportunity to go in. I mean, you're the front line of the team. You need to wait for a team to go in if you want to have any damage here, as Xbox slowly pushes it back. And it looks like they now have priority to the turtle, and they're going to just clean it up right now. And this is another devastating moment coming for the side of Ultra Legends, as they are down to turtles, as well as the fact that if they want to make any plays right now, it's going to be most likely on their jungle side because, hey, your tier 1 towers all down for the count and their hits levels over you.
Yeah, now the only one who's a little bit behind here should be like Lark, right? He got pressured thrice on the
Oh my
gold
god,
lane,
Troll Boy.
and now yeah, Throw Boy almost getting taken down there. But what they want here is the second tier tower here. Lark should be able to wreck this tower down in one go, and that's gonna be so fast coming out from the Bruno. And I think by this time he should have at least like 3 core items at this point.
Who's to say? But definitely with the damage he's pumping out, I mean, hey, it may as well be. As we do see this tier 2 tower in the middle here, they don't want to let this one go down, right? Now the game is basically locked out from here. They have nowhere to farm. And now they trick another fight here. Trollboy going for a very dangerous engage here without his entire team. He gets knocked out by the 5v1 essentially, and there's nothing you can tell me to say that that wasn't a huge disaster and bad planning strategy on their end.
Yeah, Super Z here, despite the fact that he no longer had that Guinevere in his hands, he has been setting up all these implosions that makes it so hard for Goni to even counter set at this point, right? And combine it with the glooms here of Yuko, that should be a very hard combo to, clap back against. So for Ultra Legends right now, they have to wait it out, wait for Goni to make in that miraculous flicker Minoa's rage set, because right now Team Falcons, they're just, going up against Ultra Legends, making sure that they pressure in all of the inhibitors here. Even Yuko is willing to dive in the towers here as long as he has the black shoes.
Right, I mean, it definitely does look very dangerous right now. I don't see a way they can really, come back from this unless they just sit and farm. And I don't think they're very content with just letting Ultra Legends farm that easily.
Oh, that's going to be the lightning charge picked up by Casper. So that is going to be additional burst damage coming out from the Nana. We did kind of see it earlier coming out from the Molina Blitz, but there you need to have a huge area of effect because there's a lot of front line here for the side of Falcons. Super Z has been giving out so much vision here up against Ultra Legends. Even Throwboy can't go in, for the lethal counter play to steal up that Lord. And right now, they're going to be able to take in. Look at the damage coming out though. Archman gonna try to go in, but that's gonna be him picking up that clit, and now Moni tries to go in for the setup plays, but no follow-up. Last Insanity casted here by Hulk, still has the immortality up, and that's gonna be Lord marching in the mid-side. 1-for-none trade, still in favor here of Team Falcons.
And it's looking very good again. What can they possibly do here? The Lord is now marching in, and basically Xbox has got them all zoned out, waiting for opportunity to dive in here. That's 2 for the side coming in from Team Falcons here. If it weren't for the Belmont just backing away here, they would have gotten a third one. A third one is coming in from the Nana, but with the passive proc, that just means that they have an opportunity to try and defend this. The Lord is slowly going to be chipped out here as Xbox is going to be taken out. Almost! Sorry, did not go down for there. They're able to hold them off here, but again, they're slowly getting so low here. Casualties back and forth. Archman is going to be able to walk away free only with the fact that all tier 3 towers are basically out for the count. With only the bottom one just remaining here, I have no idea how they can possibly play this. But one good thing is that because the minions are now flowing in, they've got something to farm.
At least something to farm at this point, because look at the jungle side. That's gonna be Archman taking in all of the creeps, not giving any single thing to Throwboy. Speaking of Throwboy, 0-3-0 on the Balman. That is all care of the setups here of Super Z. He has been making it so hard for Throwboy to go in for the steal. I mean, the Balman at this point can go for the lethal counter, like a double retribution, like what it had before it was nerfed to the ground. Like there was a time that the Balman was just completely OP. I think they, Muton finally returned it to its original state. 76 seconds before the next Lord is up. This should be the enhanced Lord. So I think Ultra Legends has their eyes set on this one, but it's gonna be really hard to contest up against this Lord because they don't really have anything in their hands. One inhibitor left here, and I think Team Falcons is just gonna keep on pressuring. They have Lark here, they have minions here on the bottom side. They should be able to take this one.
That last inhibitor is going down right away though, as now they're going to push in for the fight of their lives here. Their next game coming in as they slowly choke all the minions away here. It looks like Clint is almost going to get knocked out here. Even for the fact he just walked out just in time. Last one going down. It's at half and it's slowly chipping out. Lark is just forcing it down, and that is it. The next game going in towards Team Falcon's side.
Wow, if you had a hard time in game number 2, Team Falcons finally kicks back here in game number 3 and finally gets in the W. It was such a weird composition for game number two. I just have to say, I don't know why they did that. They switched up their lineup as well last minute. I don't know if that was a strategy or if they're planning something. Once they're on the blue side, they pick up another set of players, or maybe it's just Team Falcon's identity at this point. They did play so well here in game number three, despite the fact not having a Martis and just having that Nolan. So this is another thing for the players who are on the blue side, or rather on the red side, you ban away the Nolan, right? The last ban of Ultra Legends was a 1-1. So I get it. The 1-1 is so difficult to deal with. There are counters for the 1-1, but they just respecting the fact that, you know, Team Falcons can pull off that 1-1, especially when it comes to the late game type of composition. Falcons right now was able to get their hands on the Nolan, a great early game, but Ultra Legends had their answer as well. They had the Balmond, but they weren't able to take any of the objectives, and you have to give it to Super Z at this game. It was popping in that implosion left and right, making sure that the Balmond is not able to pop in that lethal counter. Having that setup, having that Lilia in the back line was able to really pressure out the side of Ultra Legends, and they were able to get the win here. It's a 2-1 right now. One more game for Team Falcons before they close the gap here with, uh, yeah, 3-1, possibly against Ultra Legends.
Right. Let's see if they can really clean this up though, because right now we got the composition has been great so far. Let me just say that much, right? They're able to play around what they have, and it just allowed them to continue to snowball their lead. Both times the games were snowball leads, right? Even this last one, the third game, snowball lead. Let's see if what they can do here is again prolong the game to a longer, a game that is, you know, more scaling. Let's put it that way, because I think that might be where Ultra Legends might be able to shine. Or you know what, play the reverse Uno card. They made it work once, they can do it again, right?
Hmm. Yeah, this time I think it's gonna be crucial to know as well who's gonna be on the
Right.
on the blue side, on the red side. Seems like whoever's on the blue side seems to win the games, right? Like for Ultra Legends and Team Falcons, the times that they've been on the blue side, twice for Team Falcons and once
Right.
for Ultra Legends. So whoever's on the blue side seems to have a high win rate. So whoever is on the blue side, let's see if I can back up that theory. Let's see who's going to be on the blue side this time, and if they win the game, that really proves my theory that the blue side seems to have a high win rate. I think for especially for Arena Esports.
Right. I mean, you know what? Arena Esports has a new blessing in the sky, so to speak. Be on the blue. But in any case, I mean, we're looking at a potential game-winning match right now, right? We're at match point for the side
Mhm.
of Team Falcons, and it looks like Ultra Legends has one shot at this right now. They have to take them out twice in order to make this work. And with that being said, though, what strategies can he possibly pull up here? That is what I want to know. The Nana was a great pick, in my opinion. Just did not favor out well because they didn't have like a strong front line to help the Nana continue to throw out their abilities.
Yeah, this is exactly why the Lilia is so good in the mid lane. I know that this was a forgotten mage for so long. I think she has been kept in the dark for a while ever since
For a while.
the release of the Neo big skin that went alongside the Fredrin. It was so good. It was buffed up. I think it was buffed up twice after the release of that skin. It was so good. And you've seen Yuko with that Lilia, right? Making sure that she is able to kite everyone out, or maybe able to pop them really low, and then all that Super Z needs to do was pop in that implosion, and everyone was out. Like the bombs just hurt so much, which is exactly why Lilia is such a good pick in the mid lane. Aside from the Novaria and the usual Valentina in the mid lane.
Valentina, yeah, that might be something they could try it out. I mean, possibly, right?
Nobody has been picking it up. Yeah.
And we haven't seen Valentina for a very long time as well. I mean, it's definitely one of the majors that we can look forward to potentially. But I want to definitely call out the Xbox play here. Hulk, again, my highlight player this time is going to just completely wall them off with that giant laser of his, not allowing him to go in. Of course, maybe not a good display here with the immortality going in and getting a knockout here, but half the time we've seen them fight, Hawk has been the one just calling the shots here and making sure that they're walled off. And if they do want to come in, massive damage flowing. Look at that once again.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, the bombs here of Yuko, the glooms was just too much to handle, and even someone like Casper can't position well. There were a lot of good sets here. Have to commend Gani. Not only Gani, but Yuko. Sorry, Super Z rather had so many good sets here in this game, which is what enabled Team Falcons to reach this point. And by that time, they didn't even need that last Lord. All they needed to do was just get into minion waves, clear out the lanes. They have a very good wave clear, and they just get the Bruno to lock in the tower, and it was game over.
Right. So now the question remains though, do they want to pick up the Xbox or ban it instead? I have a feeling the Xbox might make a return for this game. I mean, it's definitely doing some wonders here. But what I will say as well is the fact that their lack of frontliners is going to cost them heavily if they go in with the same composition. Ultra Legends might want to pick up another Uranus on their side once again. I mean, that has been working out for them, and changing it is just why? Why?
See, exactly. That was the same question that I had for Team Falcons. Like, why did you guys? It worked so well in game number. You guys just want to extend your
Yeah.
screen time here. I think at this point they just want to extend their screen time here and get casted by Burger King and Nitera at this point. But apart from that, sometimes the teams can get a bit too overzealous when it comes to the picks, right? Especially when you're winning, you can get like a
Right,
bit
right.
confident, say, okay, we're comfortable. I think we can take this next game, and then you know what, the other team just comes back and takes in the game and equalizes the points as well. But hopefully, for Team Falcons, this can go up until perhaps like maybe next game they can close it out. But if you're an Ultra Legends fan, it's still not over yet. You can still equalize the playing field by taking it to a 2-2. But Team Falcons right now, if they work with the same lineup and if they're on the blue side, I think they can take this thing.
Well, if anything, they're not just good players, they're good showsmen because, I mean, hey, increase that screen time. Let's go to a 3-2 is what they wanted to happen. But I don't know if Team Falcons wants that to happen. Do they have the stamina to call it out right now? Let's take a look at the last game scoreboard real quick as well as we get to see how it pans out. A lot of the games have been at least 5 kill difference. In fact, the goalie has been insane from the side. But we go to Arshvan as the MVP here. On top of his 6 kills, he was definitely able to make plays with Nolan, making such a wave across the entire map here with his not only Lord, but his turtles.
Yeah, wow, that is a massive gold lead for Arshvin, right? Even the gold laner didn't have as much as 11,000 for him. I think the fact is that he was not shut down in this entire game. So, not having that shutdown, the goal just keeps on piling up. And Arslan was just able to, not only take in the turtles, but he was able to, get in those ties. You guys have seen it in the highlights. I have to commend Yuko and Super Z as well in this game for, making it so much more easier for Arslan to rotate around the lanes. The Lilia has a great amount of wave clear. And Super Z, you've seen all of the implosion he has made the entire game, making it so hard for Throwboy to actually, steal the objectives away from Team Falcons.
Well, again, we're gonna set out the games here. I do believe they're going into their pick and bans already. And one thing I think will make a return here is that we might see Casper back on Angela. I have a feeling they might overlook the ban there, and that might be what they can use to save the game. If they don't pick up the Uranus, a global ultimate shield might be what they need.
The Angela wasn't picked up, right? It was banned away.
It was banned the last round. Yes.
Yeah, banned the last game. So let's take a look at
Our
yeah,
faces.
So yeah, it's gonna be a faces once again. No longer the scoreboard or the highlights. But you know what? I think it's pretty interesting seeing this is gonna be the last monthly final. So I love how the players have been playing around with their picks, right? Picking up a Cecilion. I think the most contemporary one that I've ever seen here was a Clint. Like both sides seem to be prioritizing the Clint. What is with the Clint? Like I don't know what is the story behind the Clint. Is it a meta in their region or I don't know.
All right, here we go. Ghani is going in for the first ban here of blue side. Barat is going to get called out. What were we expecting, right? What were we expecting? 1-1 coming in as well for Falcons. Nothing new on this side, but let's see what they really go for now.
So the 1-1 this time is gonna be a first ban here for Prio ban rather for Falcons. Oh, okay. So blue side is gonna be Ultra Legends, and Falcons is gonna go with their lineup that they had back in game number 2. So I'm just hoping that they don't pick up a very weird composition once again. So
You sound
here's the
excited.
thing. Yeah, blue side. Let's see if they can prove my theory, right? So they're taking away all of the jungler options here for Bubblegum, maybe leaving him with again, maybe a Thomas or Balmond. 1-1. Martis might actually be a a possible ban here for either U Legends, but I guess they can pick it up since they're on the blue side. So that's gonna be up to Falcon if they want to ban that out or the Nolan, right? They can also use the Nolan here for Ultra Legends.
Ooh, you're right here. I don't know what True Boy might be considering banning though. That's the other thing that we have to think about real quick. There's a lot of options. right? Because so far, most of the picks, bans here are things that have already been done before, right? They're like staple bans.
Mhm.
So right now,
Yeah, even the Lunox is a staple ban here.
yeah, it's
whenever
been
it's
out
up,
for
right?
2 games. Yes.
Upon
Nolan, there we go.
Ooh. Pretty interesting that Ultra Legends banned this away, which means that it might be due to the fact that they're not comfortable with the Nolan, right? Like when you
Right.
ban it away, that means your team
They
does
lock him
not
out as well.
either.
Yes.
Yeah, it's either they're not comfortable playing that hero or it doesn't fit their composition well. That should be the answer to why they banned that away. Is knowing that they're on the blue side, the Nolan is one of the picks that is, either number one ban, number one pick. Final ban here for Falcon. Do they respect the Martis at this point? Like, I
Good
mean, the Martis is up
question.
for the picking, right?
Right.
1-1 is already out, so Martis could be an option here. Ooh, very interesting. All Casper heroes. Yeah, this is what made it hard. Okay, maybe they can let the Martis slide, but the Alice was also a problem for the lineup that Falcons had in game number 2. The backline was so accessible due to the fact that the Alice had ins and outs through the back line. So now, without the Alice, they can let the Marta slide, or maybe they can pick something totally different at this point. But looking at the way that they've been picking up the heroes, it seems to be the Martes as a prior pick or the Nolan as the first pick here.
Well,
Oh,
let's
I
see if
completely
that's the
forgot
case.
about this. Ooh, very strong start here for Ultra Legends. Now, this is going to force out the side of Falcons to pick up a hero with suppression. Kaja or a Franco here. This should be the only way to deal with a Joy. I've gone up against this in ranked games and it's so annoying. There's no way to actually stop this hero, not unless you have a Phobius or you have a Kaja to just control this Joy that is just so mobile that can just traverse around the land of Dawn here at this point. So Falcon, they should consider a hero with suppression. That there's only two in this game. That should be a Franco or a Kaja.
Ooh, okay, let's see what happens though. I mean, like, we might still get it. We might still get it. It is still on the table.
Do you want to make friends with Nana?
Oh, the Nana and the Martis both picked up. Remember the other theory you had? If a Martis is in play, that's an instant win. Let's see if that is on the table right now.
Ooh, so I guess this is a theory that I have, right? Does Martis win games or does the blue side win more games? I think that's gonna test out my theory this time. Let's see if that's gonna be the case, since it's gonna be a totally different jungler this time for the side of Team Falcons. I guess maybe this is the lineup that works well when they're on the red side. So that could also be a strategy, right? That's why they're picking up or they're fielding out different players this time. I guess for the side of U Legends, they're going for a pretty similar lineup to what they had in game number 2, except for the fact that they have a Joy this time. Throwboy, perhaps this time can pick up maybe also a great hero that can go head to head with the Martis in the early game. But this is looking really scary, right? This might actually just be a Joy in the jungle. They just haven't decided yet, or a Joy in the mid lane.
Alright, we do see the Uranus and Minotaur coming back in here. Back to the bans now. We haven't seen Matilda yet. And I want to say that that could still be on the table, but can it really be on the table?
Matilda is still an option here. I guess, it would be a good ban, knowing that you Legends might actually pick this up, right? Imagine having the Matilda, right? Having a guiding wind to get you out of those clashes is going to be really annoying here, especially for the side of Falcons that seem to have that dive type of composition once again with the Martis and the Minotaur. So having the Matilda here would enable the lineup here of new legends to just shine even more. So they could actually, maybe pick that up. They take away the Kaja here, which is, I guess, an answer that I wanted to have for the Joy. I don't know. They just went. I guess they went for the steal here for the
Right.
Minotaur, stealing it away from Goni. But I would prefer that they have either a Franco or a Kaja at this point, right? There's no way to control this Joy if it just snowballs at this point, right? There's no way to control it.
There's no
way
way
to take it down. Not unless you're gonna go for a Phobius here.
Alright, Lark.
It's so funny they ban away the Clint. Like, I don't know what's up with the Clint. What's up with this team? Somebody please answer my question. What's up with the Clint prio pick? It's not even, I wouldn't say it like S up until A tier. It's for me, it's a B tier in the marksman lane. A situational perhaps, but not one of those heroes like Iksha. And yes, finally somebody banned that away. It would enable the lineup here of new legends to shine so much more. Dairon, final ban here. Not so sure why that's gonna be the case. I guess it's for the
Lyra.
Uranus. Gonna make it so hard. Okay, Yuzong, but still not an answer to the I guess it's an answer to the Claude, but not really an answer towards the Joy.
But we still like that on the field though. I mean, it's
Mhm.
still able to pick up. That might be another thing you can consider.
Mhm. Yeah, they do have the damage right now for the side of U Legends. They still need a jungler and a roamer, so the Matildas has already been out. The Angela's open, by the way. That's so good with the lineup here of U Legends.
What are the odds that they go for Belmont a second time? You know, it didn't go off for them well the first time, but
I think a Balman Angela would be a good combo here. It's a great early game, right? The Martis is an early game. Balman is also an early game, and if you have the Angela as well, it's gonna give that early game as well. We didn't really see that combo yet, right? We didn't see that combo of
Yeah.
the Balman and the Angela. The Angela's open. Not unless they want to go for a setter tank at this point, Tigreal, to counter play. Oh wow! I just called right on cue. I don't know. Okay,
you're
what's
3 for
today?
3. You're 3 for
Right on
3.
cue. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I get it why they wanted to go for the Tigreal in the last minute, because having the Angela, right? Yeah, you can heal. Yeah, you can sustain the clash, but it's so different from having a Tigreal set up the play, knowing that, that was what made it hard for them in game number 3, right? The implosion, the flicker implosion, was such a menace for them. Now they pick up the carry here to deal with the tanky heroes. I would say not really the greatest hero to go up against the Claude in the early game. You definitely need some babysitting here. So I'm expecting Super Z to camp out actually in the gold lane. Even Yuko here might actually just be camping out in the gold lane for a while.
I mean, looking at his lineup, I gotta say, we might be in for a very long fight. This one looks to be one that's just gonna be a battle of who can get the upper hand on the team fights. You know, we're not gonna see a lot of skirmishes early on, but what's to say Gonnie's not gonna be annoying?
Yeah. Oh, this time I like this Guinevere pick coming out from Throwboy. Casper as well on the Joy. There's just a lot of magic damage. I think, yeah, the burst magic damage is gonna be Casper and Throwboy. And
Right.
if they want some physical damage, that's gonna be the Claude. He didn't really shine that much back in game number 2. So let's hope this time, right? This is definitely way more advantage for the Claude in the gold lane. You're going up against a carry, you can definitely poke the carry in the early game, but once it reaches the late game, it's a different story. So traditional setup coming here from Falcons, they're going in for the leash, so they get the marksman to at least
Ooh.
help out in the purple buff, but that's a very early. Oh, this is throwback to the time. Okay, forcing Bubblegum to use that retribution. There was a time that the Tigreal got so annoying that it just pushes the buff away. Right now, knowing
Right.
that Bubblegum no longer has that retribution, Gonnie can just keep on pushing that perhaps the red buff here away from Bubblegum.
Alright, let's see what happens from here on out. Kunai is sitting in a very nice position, just waiting to just go in and harass them. As we do see Bubblegum again in that bush waiting for opportunity. It's just a matter of whether they want to go in for this. Casper is slowly taking a lot of damage here just because he's farming up. But again, that goldie is going to be immense early on when we go in for the first turtle, which is spawning in just a bit.
Okay, just level 4. Bubblegum is at least a level ahead of Throwboy at this point, who is actually choosing to rotate towards the gold lane. So this might just mean that Ultra Legends is willing to let go of that first turtle, but instead go for the pressure up against Lark. So now I'm not so sure at this point what they want to go for, because it's getting pretty messy here when it comes to rotation. But it seems like both sides know that Throwboy is actually on the bottom side, so they might actually choose to assist Lark first, who is about to reach that level 4. But looking at the pokes, yeah, Lark is just definitely gonna have a hard time up against the Claude, right? The early game is not gonna favor the carry.
Well, it doesn't look like he's just gonna give it up right now. I mean, like, they're all just rotating it back up to the top for Turtle right now, and it definitely looks like they want to collapse onto Uranus as well first before then. Boy is now waiting for an opportunity to see if he can go with his team, but I think he fails to realize that top side, no one's with him. Tigreal's the only one following up with him in just a bit. As they disengage though, we might see that team fight I'm looking for, and now the battle ensues. Boy going in hard against Bubblegum, and the Black Dragon is now awakened, as we do see Boy in a very precarious position here, getting knocked out right now, and that means he has no retribution on their side here, and they're able to take another one down on their side here, which is going to be Tigreal here. 2 on the side of Ultra Legends down, 3 with the Arenas, and it looks like Turtle is basically first on the taking. Nicely done. I mean, that little bonus there, right? That little bonus helped out.
Yeah, this should be Oh wow, so much advantage here. So many things that Team Falcons was able to pick up. 3 kills in an instant, and the turtle, they were able to shred the tower as well on the mid side to at least like 1/4 HP. This is gonna be so good for Yuko on the Nana. Now we should be able to at least take in some items, and right now Falcon's gonna be doing that rotation as well on the bottom side, knowing that Larks needs that assistance. If he's left out in the open, Gonni's gonna be rotating towards that bottom side. He no longer has the flicker, but perhaps maybe has that ultimate up. But wow, the Mart this year is just going haywire right now, picking up that killing spree already, 301. So if this keeps up, Ultra Legends needs to at least punish or at least, at least shut down Bubblegum at this point.
Well, we're gonna see how they want to shut down Bubblegum because like level 7 double buff, Gonni's in a weird position. They actually called out how he's just standing in a bush and takes the free damage here. There's no way he's staying in that lane to farm anymore with Bubblegum just sitting down there. Sees the Tigro here, is getting pushed to a tower, but hey, I mean, Bubblegum is just going to slowly chip that out once again. There's no reason for him to force this. Getting a mega kill right now. Moving forward here. Can he get down to carry here as they're slowly trying to make their way in? Bubblegum now looking for a new target here. Sees Casper Choboy, but to no avail. This fight is over for the most part. But to the side of Falcons getting that one.
Okay, Alpha comes in to join the party.
Another fight?
Oh, that's not Throwboy. Okay, they going for the dives. No, they're going for more here. Claude not able to sustain all of that. Wow.
Minotaur's down.
They got in 2. Yeah, they got in 2 for the price of the roam. I would say that is such a good trade-off. But you know what? Spoke too soon. They also get Alpha down a little bit too deep there. But they did get the counter punish. First 2 kills for Ultra Legends. And they go straight for the turtle here. Gone?
Yeah.
Are they able to do anything? Nah,
I don't think so,
do
yeah.
anything.
I mean, this is amazing coming in from Team Falcons. They might have a 2-kill advantage here on the side of Ultra Legends, but they pivot it in a way that Falcons is able to grab the turtle, and this is not looking good for them. Kunai trying to make some play here with Uranus here. Even though you're immortal, you're not going to be sustaining for very long against the hands of Bubblegum on that Martis as well. Level 8 trying to make some play here. Choboy gets the pickup here and tries to run away. Minotaur catching him here, and Martin is going to take the fight now. He has a vengeance for that buff. He wanted that buff, and Bubblegum is not going to go home without it. Choboy trying his best to run away here, but to no avail. Looks like he's knocked out here.
Oh my gosh, Throwboy, that was such a long way to take in that purple buff, but he's 0-3-1. Pretty much the same case as what happened back in game number 3. Game number 2 rather. So yeah, look at this. Team Falcons, at least right now they are not forgetting to take away the objectives. Middle tower as well, they're trying to pick it up, but Casper is here. I'm still waiting for the power spike to happen, but at this point, you know what, all of the turtles went to the side of Ultra Legends. This time Bubblegum steals away the purple. Flicker out for the side of Casper. Nice setup. Throwboy goes in for the spatial migration, but not able to get anything. Bubblegum at this point is just on a rampage right now. Even Kunai might face this rat. He's able to sustain, but Casper as well gonna be missing out on that ultimate. So many front lines here for the side of Team Falcons. Throwboy going in for Casper. Does
One
not
more
have
round?
the ultimate. He did flicker out, shut down onto Bubblegum, and that is a good trade-off for the side of Ultra Legends.
Let's see where we're going in right now. As Super Z is just a little bit worse for wear here, and Kunai is alone, so there is an opportunity here for them to pick that up. They force this fight here, they might get something out for here. Uranus going in again. Super Z looking low, and Yuko poking out here bit by bit. With no one front line though, I don't know if she wants to stay there.
Okay, last turtle is still up here for the taking. Gonnie able to take on the mid tower here, so Ultra Legends showing signs of life here, closing in the gap as well by getting in at least 2k. Still, Team Falcons on the lead. Gonnie right now really low. Alpha gonna be able to make him back away right now. Turtle 1/4 HP. Wait, what's going on? They're backing away?
Yeah, they're backing away. They don't have enough people to go in for it. 3-2 here, and it now is 3-1 really low. And if they have Casper in, I mean, that's still not a lot of help here. They drop another ultimate here with the Black Dragon. Awakening Hour is just going in and trying to look for Casper. And they do see him. I think they want him down as well. I mean, no survivors after looking at that turtle. There's 2 turtles on the side of Falcon here, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, this is where the Nana gets really annoying at this point. Look at this, 0-0-6 for Yuko. He's just been such a good support here towards Team Falcons, and now having in the Molina there, it's gonna make it harder for the damage dealers to position themselves. And you know what? We haven't taken a notice here of Lark just yet, right? He has been
Not yet.
farming. He has been picking up like 0-0-1 on the carry, right? But he has been picking up towers after towers on the bottom side and on the top side as well.
Ooh, I don't know what to tell you right now. It definitely looks like Falcons has this game locked and under a 4k goal lead as well, going to 5k, and looks like Harry is just slowly chipping his way down here. Kunai is unable to do anything even as a tank here, as, I mean, look at that massive damage just going back and forth against each other. With the 11 kill advantage as well, I mean, what can they do? Look, Alpha goes down. That is one advantage out for Ultra Legends, but I don't know if that can help them.
Yeah, 2v1 situation. Okay. The Claude! Wow! Look at the burst coming out from Yuko. 1 hit. 2 hits to delete that Claude. Man, he didn't even... He used up the Purify as well. So that was like one spell out. And now Team Falcons without the marksman. This should be... an easy lord take for them. Not unless, they're able to take down the marksman as well here for Team Falcons.
Right, now we're gonna see how this plays out. Because right now, we're leading for the Lord, like you said. 20 seconds down, and it doesn't look like they are positioned well for this. Ultra Legends might just have to give this Lord up and just farm up. Martin is coming in from middle here, and he might get himself another kill here if he wants to go for it. But I think just positioning for the Lord instead is just so much better. Oh,
Yeah, I
spots
mean...
the girl.
Okay, both... Yep. Okay,
There's a
Bubblegum
chance
in the middle of
here.
everything.
He might get something going
Okay.
in here. Uranus slowly chipping them all off with their spinning balls here. And now we're gonna see them completely be nashed out here. The Immortal one is now out for the count. Boy coming in, trying to make some play here, but to no avail as they're now
Super
getting
Z!
an entire fight. Zero Z going with a giant CC here, and the Dragon
Alpha?
blocking him out here. Boy is now up for the count here, and they might just want to force this fight in. Tier 2 towers all they have left, and Chigo might be the next target to go down. Pushing in and knocked out for the count. This is insane for a triple, and they still have a lot for the taking. Don't forget that.
Great macro game though by Ultra Legends. They just chose to get that Claude to, manage in the waves, right? Pressuring in the bottom side as well. 1v1 duel. Who's gonna make it out alive? Oh, it's a 1-for-1 trade onto the marksman. But I think it should be Team Falcons taking in this lore without any contest. I mean, Kunai is back up. Retribution Holder is here though. Not unless Kunai manages to take him down. Bubblegum's really low though. 140
Kunai.
HP. Throwboy. This is gonna be an
They
even
got it.
fight.
It might have a chance here. He's very low. They do take him out. This is
Oh!
actually insane. They might get the Lord still, but they have to ward it off. And Kunai is the perfect person to do it. Guinevere comes in with the Retribution, clearing it out. And this means they're able to take this fight now. And there might be a start of something new here. Uranus gets another one for the side, but Nana returning back the favor here with a revenge.
Yeah, they took way too long to get that Lord. They should have went straight to the Lord after that wipeout for Ultra Legends. And now they actually pick up the Lord here for Ultra Legends. So this is going to create so much more pressure there on the bottom side. They no longer have those tier 2s. At least I think by this time, Ultra Legends should at least take down the tier 2 towers, right? It was great, 1v1 Claude versus the carry. They were able to take down the tower. I think at this point, like Ultra Legends still manages to win the macro side of the game, right?
Right.
Even though they're losing in the gold, now Kunai as well gonna be able to soak up all of the damage. But at this point, Team Falcon's gonna have to be going on the defensive side. The Claude is gonna be having an easy time to take down the tower. Bubblegum, right? It's taking a decent amount of damage from this Claude.
And what can he possibly do here? I mean, it's just really stifling to just be around any of those choke points right now, as you can see there. But Ultra Legends is making that way over, slow and steady, as they are able to just ward it off. Uranus can just sit down on those choke points, right? Soak the damage and walk away while the entire team slowly pushes in. The Lord is also making headway there at the bottom side, as they're able to slowly now make their way in. Uranus going in for a fight, and Choboy lurching his body over and trying to make a play here, only to be completely desolated right there. And now it looks like this is going to be a complete collapse on the side of Falcons into Ultra Legends, and they might get themselves a full wipe here if it weren't for the fact that, again, targeting Uranus is not the play. But a return back from Gani here as Sigurd, but I don't see the play here. What was the point of going in as they slowly just lose their HP here?
Well, that was Purify was used in by Lark, and now they're still gonna go for more lot of overextended team fights.
Ooh, they killed an artist.
Yep. Oh no, Kunai is able to soak up all of the damage, but you know what? The carry is starting to hurt as well. Lark gonna be able to pick him off as well. The true damage coming out from the carries light wheel mark should be able to, punish in, tanky heroes like Goni, tanky heroes like Kunai, and I think that's the answer. But right now, Ultra Legends, they're winning in the macro side of things, but Team Falcons, they are still managing pretty well, right? The gold is the gold's even out right now, 3.8k for both sides.
Mind you, Ultra Legends was behind them by almost 4 to 5k goal before, and this is now where they stand here with a 10 kill deficit. They do have an advantage in terms of the towers, but like you said, the macro game is just amazing right now.
Now, you know what, Team Falcons, they still have a chance of winning this. Purify is going to be up. I think it's going to be crucial for the marksmen, both sides, to have that Purify up, right? They don't want to get caught in between either the setups here from the side of Ultra Legends. And now, okay, they're going to go for the setup here. Here comes Super Z.
We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. I mean, it's going down very much here with the Dragon going in, and they're gonna push in. Uranus is just completely in the wrong side right now as everyone just dies on the back line here. And now Joe Boy is trying to take a return here onto Alpha, but he's still walking. He's still alive. Alpha is losing out just a little bit more, but he walks away scot-free. The entire team there to peel him off, and he basically walked out with 2 kills and no casualties, right? A very low output here, but Choboy is still hungry. He wants to go for it so bad, but he does now. He's going to lose Lord. He needs to wait for opportunity. Just wait for a bit more. Do not be baited by the alpha going back. Kunai doing his best to wall off everyone here, just soak the damage. And I think Choboy knows that he needs to go, but it's a little bit too late. He is now in a position where he has to wait for that Lord. 15,000 HP here, and he's got to wait it out. Choboy caught off by Super Z here. I don't think you want to carry on the fight. Just back off. Give the Lord up. It is not your time.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. Falcons gonna be securing in that Lord, and that is gonna be Falcons as well. Once again, winning in the zoning game here, having Alpha and Super Z zoning away, Throwboy zoning away Casper is very essential when it comes to securing in the objectives. And I have to commend here Yuko as well onto the Nana, right? Like the Nana, as long as you have it on a safe distance, you see how well it bursts down the heroes of Ultra Legends here. Like you saw the Claude getting bursted down but just by 2 shots of the ultimate here of the Nana. So Yuko hasn't suffered any casualties yet. 3-0-11, I'd have to say, next to Super Z here. He has been the one, shredding in the side of Ultra Legends apart. Now Goni has that immortality, should be able to buy him some time. I think you also have to consider that Casper is dishing out a lot of burst damage here as well onto the Joy, right? But the macro game, let's see how Team Falcons will even it out. The Lord is on their side, so they should be able to push out the waves. But look at Kunai. He's stopping the waves. He's cutting the waves here, making sure that Team Falcons does not get that 2nd tier tower. So what a great gameplay here. They weren't able to take any of the towers here. Kunai, that guy right there in the middle, just cut down the waves so that the 2nd tier tower is still alive and kicking. This guy, the mind games that he's playing, the macro gameplay, is just being won here by Ultra Legends.
Oh, and here we go. There's another fight trying to be ensued here as Goni is just in a weird position here. Completely caught off there just by engage. And this is going to be a 3-5 fight as they take 2 for the side. Kunai trying to make a return here to save it out. And Goni is almost too low. Going in for it. Can he get it? There we go. Trigger now up for the count here. And they basically make it out with what they want. Can they get more? It's another question entirely here as they try to make a play. Alpha is being caught off here. We are 3-1 here with everyone going back again. This situation has happened before. This is a little bit of a deja vu for you.
Yeah, now they want to get in the 2nd tier tower, even though Kunai, commendable play there. He's not gonna get bursted down by the carry. And now this is looking really real. 3 members down here for the side of Ultra Legends. They should be able to pressure in all of the inhibitors here.
They should be able to pressure in the entire team here, and they're now just gonna make a beeline for the win here. They have a chance. They just need to go all in right now, and this will be it. There we go! Team Falcon making the plays here today in our playoffs, and it's gonna clean up with a 3-1 in here.
That was a clean execution in that final encounter. It would have gone either both ways. I would have probably predicted that either if the side of Ultra Legends was able to get in a very, very good setup there, that could have turned things around for their side. But Team Falcons was able to respect the damage. They were able to at least have Alpha in front, right? Zoning everyone out, and then having Super Z as well with the flicker and the Minoan's Rage to be able to set the place here. Although there were a lot of clapbacks here for the side of Ultra Legends, it was just overall a very good game. And I just want to commend the mind games that are being played by Kunai and
Right.
the level of game, the gameplay he understands for MLBB, right? Cutting out the waves, making sure that Team Falcon does not get that second tier. But I guess it was inevitable at that point, right? Team Falcon's composition was more of a team fight eccentric one, where Ultra Legends was more of, try to go for the macro play, try to go for the split push. But then Team Falcons, all they needed to do was execute all those team fights really well, and they were finally able to take in the victory here.
Right. And that's going to be quite the issue right now because, I mean, they had everything going for them from the start here. And of course, well, they did choke a little bit at the end here with, so not at the end, just in the middle, where Ultra was able to take over the game for a little bit with all the towers. They did not know how to create the advantage with all of the gold that they had and try to turn it over because remember, their levels are still not, matching up. And so that really hurt their chances of winning here. GG's the Team Falcons, though, as they are able to just make it work.
Yeah, it's a great, overall, I think for both sides, right? Ultra Legends definitely put up a fight here up against Team Falcons, and something that we didn't expect. But I think coming out to the monthly finals, definitely, I think for all of the teams that have made it this far, the teams that have participated, once again, we'd like to thank everyone who has joined in to Arena Esports, and to all of the
Right.
teams that have made it to the playoffs. Congratulations once again. But this is probably one of the closest fights that I've ever seen. It could have gone both ways, but it was Team Falcons that executed the gameplay much, much better. Let's take a look at the highlights here.
I mean, we definitely get to see a lot of cool moments right now, like Bubblegum just going insane here, just diving in back and forth for another kill. Again, Trollboy with his incredible dive, but just no follow-up, just made it really bad. I mean, look at the positioning of everyone else being caught off just because Trollboy went in.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good plays that were made here by Kunai. Not just cutting out the waves, but there was a really good play that he did. It should be available on the highlights. Like, he was able to zone out Bubblegum, and then Throwboy came in with the Violet Requiem, and they were able to steal away. I think that was the first Lord.
Yeah.
Commendable plays coming out from Yuko as well with the Nana. He was able to position himself really well and was able to burst out like the members there of Ultra Legends. And now there were some plays here that Team Falcons was just back against their backs against the wall. But overall, Team Falcons, you see the way that they executed the team fights in those final few minutes of the game was just way too good. And Ultra Legends just had a hard time, doing the split pushes, right? Because every single one is needed in the team fight, and this was the last one. It was all over. All they needed to do was lock in the tower. Even the Claude could not stop Team Falcons at this point. They just locked in the tower. Numbers advantage was on their side, and they finally get in the series here for the last monthly finals of Arena Esports.
Really love how Falcon kept playing around the fact that they could take easy picks early on before forcing a very unfavorable team fight for them. I don't think I've seen a team fight in the last 5 or around 5 minutes where it wasn't like a 3v5 or a 1v4, something like that. It was insane how they're able to pilot and pivot all of these fights into that. And I really love how you highlight that, Kim.
Yeah, it's great, right? Overall, I think all of the games here in the monthly finals were just really good. Like, I think for all of the teams that have made it this far, they definitely proved why they deserve this spot here on the playoffs. And I think all of the 8 teams that I mentioned earlier are going to be going on to the playoffs, which will be happening, by the way, on
23rd,
January
24th.
23 and 24. So 2 straight days of back-to-back MLBB action. So if you guys missed out, you guys want to see your favorite teams once again, be sure to tune in on the 23rd and 24th of January. And again, be updated. For more updates, check out Arena Esports' social media pages for more updates regarding MLBB and all of the other games that are ongoing right now. We got PUBG, we got Dota 2, a lot of other titles that are also being live streamed here in Arena Esports.
So, Kim, I'll see you on the 23rd and 24th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right, then we'll have to
23rd and
catch you.
24th. Not unless you wanna switch the dates out. I think I think it's set on stone that it's gonna be 23rd and 24th. Not unless there is, maybe some emergency or whatnot. But definitely it's gonna be 23rd and 24th. So hopefully see you guys then. But I guess right now we have to see, of course, the scoreboard as well as the final tally after seeing the highlights there. I think there was a lot of good highlight plays for all of the players in Team Falcons, but I'm excited to see who's gonna be the MVP there.
I'm gonna call it again. I mean, I feel like at least for Team Ultra Legends, MVP will definitely go to Uranus again for making such strong plays. But no surprises here. Going on the side of Falcons, Martis is going to be the one to pick it up, and we all know that name very well, right? I'm gonna show it to you later on with the scoreboard instead of just giving it to you for free.
Oh man, yeah, nothing comes for free, right?
Yeah, nothing
You
comes for free.
have to. Yeah, that is comes for free. But I think apart from the Martis, Super Z is very commendable. Back-to-back games, I think for both game number 3 and 4, he had
Incredible
made
CC.
so many good setups there for his team, which just enabled the side of Team Falcons to be able to win the game. Apart from him, I also have to commend Yuko on the mid lane. He was able to position himself really well, even though there were times that Throwboy or maybe Kunai tried to take him out, but he managed to make it out. There was a lot of his passive was out, he flickered out to safety, and I don't think Yugo was taken out or even shut down at this point for game number 4.
That is true. The more you think about it, and the more you look at back at games, you definitely can see a lot of plays that could have been a lot better optimized. But Falcons was just there. It was peak, right? And especially for a last game like that, I mean, they definitely did not want to go home giving, UL a chance to, come back here. They did not want to give them a foothold to climb back out for a reverse here. And I really like how that is really come down to the last few plays in the last few minutes. I mean, they know their macros. If they kept it up and they were able to slowly pick them off one by one, each tower at a time, and there it is. Game is done.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that blue side doesn't always win, but Martis wins games. There you go.
Martis
Martis
wins
wins
games.
games. Yeah, it was banned away in game number 3, or yeah, game banned away in game number 3, but finally, once again, under the hands of Team Falcons, they were able to make it work. Yeah, the early game, the Bubblegum was shut down once, picked off twice once again in the mid to late game. But overall, like what I mentioned, Super Z had so many good setups. Not only that, Super Z was also able to provide the heals in the team fights. That's exactly why they were able to sustain the insane burst coming out from Casper. And you've seen it already in the mid to late game. By the time he got that Holy Crystal, it was a decent amount of damage that he dished out, having in those penetration items, which kind of
Right.
is understandable why Bubblegum and Alpha picked up those Radiant Armor and Athena's Shield just to counter out the damage coming out from the side of Ultra Legends. And overall, Yuko as well on the Nana. Like what I mentioned, no casualties at all. He was able to provide a lot of burst damage coming out from the side of Team Falcons. They were able to execute the team fights really well, and finally being able to close out the series with a 3-1.
I mean, I'm sorry, everyone. I lied to you all twice. First of all, our dear Uranus, not MVP. That's going to another player altogether who has done a tremendous performance. I mean, look at the goal that he's obtained over the entire game. I mean, even with the items here, I mean, that was the only player that could have potentially gone toe-to-toe against the entire team of Team Falcons. And unfortunately, it's just not easy when, you're knocked out just like that. But again, second time I lied, Bubblegum is not our MVP here. Martis is not the one that's clearing it out here. With this time, Minotaur, like you were saying, great CC in general. I mean, Super Z knows his positioning well, right? Can we say that?
Yeah, he picked up
So,
the. You know what? Super Z didn't even pick up the Radiant Armor. He picked up the Flask of the Oasis actually, just to give out more heals towards his team, right? Knowing that there's a lot of bursts from
right.
the side of Ultra Legends. It's just so good. Even down to the itemization, all of these players are just very much self-aware, and at the same time, it just favored the team fight type of composition that Team Falcons
Right.
has for this game. Overall, I think it was a very good series, 3-1. Like what I predicted earlier, 3-1. It actually came out.
Hey, I
I
predicted
guess
three
it
one
could have
too.
it could have been a 3-2 actually. I think if it I guess for the side of Ultra Legends, if they were able to at least pick off the Nana or maybe even pick off the carry, but didn't happen. So I guess overall it was a great way to close out the final monthly qualifiers here for Arena Esports.
Right. And of course, again, GG's to all the teams that played in here. Remember, we are going to be going into our semifinals and grand finals on the 23rd and the 24th of January.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot to take into consideration here, knowing that we're now going into our playoff stage. You have the overall picture. I think you guys will be seeing the monthly teams that have qualified once again. So apart from Team Falcons and Ultra Legends, there's also going to be other teams. So you're talking about the best of the best teams that will be going head to head with each other in our playoffs in a 2-day back-to-back MLBB action. So please tune into that. That's going to be again the 23rd and 24th of January. So don't miss out. And after that, that's going to be a LAN grand finals that we're going to be having. We're in the two teams. I'm not so sure who is going to be the two teams. I think all of these teams are definitely very much worthy of that spot. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors at Etisalat, our strategic partner, Arena Esports, as well as Playtonia, our broadcast partner. So these are the teams that will be heading over to the playoffs, a total of 8 teams, Nitera.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all of them. GK Esports, Team Avalon are in the monthly finals one. They were the two teams that went out on the first one. The second one, we had Arena Esports, Team X on, and third one, Okami Friends, Team Shuki. And of course, here we are with the final one, right? So we now have our teams all standby and ready to go. We have the seedings all basically done, and we're just excited to see what's gonna go down on the 23rd and the 24th.
Be sure to catch all of these teams, right? If you're supporting any of them, be sure to come down to our playoffs and make sure to support all these teams. It means so much to them, especially since this is going to be the playoffs already. Every single team needs your support so that at least, whoever will come down to the grand finals, it is going to be it means so well to them that they have the support of supporters, friends, or maybe even fans down there to cheer them on. So just to give you guys a little glimpse of what will happen in the playoffs, it's going to be a best out of 3, and the final one. So for the top two I guess the last and final bracket is going to be best out of 5 for a playoff. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, in 23rd and 24th. And if you want more information, once again, go ahead and check out arenaesports.ae for more information.
All right, and with that being said, though, I mean, it looks like we're going down to the final moments of today's stream. So, Kim, do you have anything for us before we sign out?
Martis wins games.
Martis wins games.
And Burger Kim wins all of the bets because I said Team Falcons, right? And Nitera just lost that one. You
Oh,
were
that is
you
true.
were Ultra Legends, right? Yeah. Well, all I can say is that I'm always I'm not on the right side right now, but girls are always right, like what they said. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But obviously, I mean, we've got more to look forward to, so I'm gonna let you hold on to any more judgment we have. Let's see if we can keep that streak going in for the next few games that we have in a few weeks' time. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so